Hello, welcome to Sacred Streaming. We're celebrating the release of a game, Vampire Crawlers tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
That's
Vampire
it.
Crawlers, very
Hell
exciting.
yeah!
Another Castlevania. Hold on, where am I hearing this from? I'm
Are you
getting
hearing
double.
yourself? Do you have
Oh,
a?
okay, it was open in another window. There we go. I was like, why is it open
We've
twice?
we've all been there. In fact,
I
me
know.
on maybe 15% of streams.
How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm very well. I feel well rested.
Oh, good. I'm not.
Holly has had a nasty cold the last few days.
Oh,
But nothing serious, just like really sniffly and a lot of sinus stuff. But she doesn't feel bad, but she definitely has something. But she's on the mend. So we kept it low key this weekend, playing video games, playing Pragmata, that's what they say in the game. They say Pragmata,
do they? I'm not calling it that.
not Pragmata. So I was playing that.
I
I was
won't be
playing
calling it that.
Marathon. I don't know if I have what it takes to play Marathon much longer, Colin.
Yeah, it's too sweaty.
Well, here's the thing. Next time I play, if I play well, then I'll have a completely opposite feeling. But last night, dude, me, Brad, Brandon, one successful extract the entire night.
Wow, it's too tough out there.
And it's getting crazy. But I don't know. Apparently, it's some kind of matchmaking issue. So I'm gonna blame it on that.
Yeah, sure.
It's a weird feeling in Marathon where I continually feel like I'm getting better at the game. I understand the game more. I'd like to think my skills are getting a little better, yet I'm doing worse. Explain that.
It's like the players that are on a higher arc than you that are sticking around on
Right.
average. It sounds like.
That's exactly it. Player numbers going down.
Damn.
The player numbers are going down. And the high skilled players are up there playing the game. And I'm not high enough skilled. But I'm having a good time. How are you, though? Busy? Busy weekend? Busy day?
Weekend. Crazy weekend. Yeah, I slept only a few hours. Just out of excitement. I went to bed at like 4 or 5 or something like I usually do. But then I woke up to pee at, I don't know, 10. And so, the mistake is always stay off your phone. I try to do like the whole I pee, try to kind of stay in that sleepy space, and then you just crawl right back into bed. When you're in the master bedroom, you just walk into the bathroom, you just walk back, and you just. But I was like, I want to know. I wanted to look at like the Steam reviews. I wanted to see like if anyone said anything. I wanted to see the Discord, look at the sales numbers. So then I started doing that, and then I stayed up basically, and then I did fall back asleep for like an hour. But yeah, I'm not well rested today. Plus, it's 420, so that's exciting, very exciting as well. But yeah, the game's out, and I just wanted to have a nice, easy breezy, just relaxation kind of stream today. We'll stream for a couple hours maybe. And now a couple of things to be clear about. I'm not playing the game on stream today. I was gonna play it next week. I have an idea, but Mike is like, even that's kind of too soon. So I think I'm gonna give it a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll have Jaffe on next week or something instead. But and people in the chat are saying that Jaffe rage quit the game at some point. I have to hear more about that because I didn't see it.
Rocker.
Yeah, I know. It's like he's maybe not the most talented gamer, but that's all right. That's okay.
Well, he tried to remember how there was something about him playing Silent Hill F, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't think it was very hard." I'm like, something ain't right. Something's not connecting with this story here, and what level you were playing on, and what level I was playing on. So I don't know, Jaffe.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. So I want to hear a little bit more about that, but yeah. So I think in a couple of weeks, so like maybe 2 weeks, I'll sit down. I've never played the PS4 version at all. I'm gonna sit down and I'll platinum the entire thing in one sitting.
Damn.
Damn, son.
Damn.
So I think that'll be fun. Now I figured this out for reasons that will become clear soon. You have to beat Saint Slayer 8 times to platinum it.
Damn. Wow.
Now that sounds extraordinary, but the game is really short when you're good at it.
Sure.
Someone in a review said they can beat it. It can be beaten in 15 to 30 minutes. I'm like, no, it can't. 30 maybe. 15 it would be completely impossible to beat it in 15 minutes. But like the original Castlevania, once you know it, you can get through it quickly. So to solicit all of the ending, you have to solicit all the different endings, and then you have to beat the game with some of the in-game passwords that you unlock. So yeah, it's going to be 8 times to beat the platinum. I want to see what people think about that or whatever. So the PS4 version has a slightly different trophy list than the PS5 version, so I thought it'd be fun to just kind of do it on the fly, show everyone how it's done. I was thinking last night. I mean, I beat the game probably 4 or 5 times yesterday. So, just playing it and looking for stuff or whatever. So, I was trying to think. You know how we people exaggerate. It's just the nature. I've beaten that 1,000. I've seen that movie 1,000 times.
Right.
It's like, well, how many times? Really? Like, all right. So my favorite movie, like one of my favorite movies, is Willy Wonka. Like, how many times have I actually seen it? Probably 100. Right? It's not maybe. That might even be extreme. Right?
Seems extreme.
On TV all the time. I had the tape when I was a kid, so I watched it constantly. I had the DVD later, but yeah, that might be extreme, right? But you'd say like 1,000. It's like I beat Saint Slayer dozens of times, I would say. So it's fun for others to kind of, let other people try it, see what they think.
Sure.
People are very complimentary about it, so I'm excited about it. I want to see more of people's opinions and stuff. So it'll be a little hard to focus today, but here I am, and I thought we would just reflect and relax and just hang out.
Now, do we want to bring up the launch trailer?
Oh yeah, we should watch it.
Yeah, give me 1 second, because sometimes when you're logged into an account that you're the manager of, there's an annoying white bar at the bottom that says you're a manager, and it blocks the view. So let me just switch this over.
You're a manager.
Like, I know I'm a manager of Last Stand Media. Thank you. Okay, let me bring this up here. Let me make sure this is the right thing. Okay. So here is the launch trailer. Might be a little loud. This launch trailer, it's got some atmosphere.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Lachlan.
Now, some people are saying #ad. It's not an ad for when you own the company.
Yeah, I own it. This is my game.
Yeah. Oh, they're saying no audio. Well.
Oh, yeah, the audio is important. Got to restart it.
We got to restart. Hold on. I had this.
God, I love that shot of Pacer at the desk with the spear. It's so fucking good. Exactly how I envisioned him. Well done, Lachlan.
We'll bring it back up.
You did say you mess up almost every week.
These tools are not reliable. I set it up beforehand, but now it's just saying, no.
No. So, all right, in the interim, someone tell me so Jaffe played the game and then rage quit. I thought he really liked the game when he played the demo. It's just as hard as the demo. We might have made it a little harder. All right, the game's a little hard. All right? It's a little hard. But get good.
Get good at it. I figured
Level 5 broke him? Level 5's in the demo. Oh my God, he hasn't seen anything yet. Jaffe, just don't even play the game. You're not prepared. Wait until you see what level 19 is. He was complaining about the enemies in the ground that you can't see. It's because they're reviving. You got to down stab them, and they won't revive.
I have to use
level
Brave.
5 is a skill check. What is level 5? That's the one after the carriage ride. That's a tough stage for people.
Is that the water level?
No, that's 7. I'm the wrong person to ask, I guess, at this point about if it's hard or not. So Rudiger mode and classic mode is going to beat people's ass. Level 5 broke me by delaying Deca Police for the 100th time. That's very funny. Did we get the sound fixed?
Almost. I had to switch.
What are you doing? Like creating a new gizmo?
I'm creating a whole new trailer, actually.
Dustin's programming something right now in Claude.
Okay, I had to switch over to Brave. I had it up in Chrome, and that was not ideal. Okay, let me see if the audio comes through. I can only know until I...
All right, we good?
Yep.
That's what the music's so good. We're leaning into the Christian theme.
Sacrilegious.
Take a hint, Castlevania. God, that shot. Love that shot.
Oh, shit.
So this is level 4. So it's the stage after this. That's the one you were talking about. I realize I'm watching it live, so I'm totally off on.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. There you go. It's out now.
Out now. Go support it, please. Barry's he's gonna have a nervous breakdown if you don't buy this game. So you got to buy it.
Also, quick plug. Another plug.
Oh.
You like the music from that trailer. There is
Oh,
a
yeah.
vinyl available. Look at that. Look at how sick that is. It even has a guide in it that's top secret, featuring
is top
exclusive hidden passwords. That's kind of a neat idea to put a password only behind. I mean, that's kind of like, is that paid DLC?
Yeah, it reminds me of Star Tropics on NES.
Oh, yeah.
For people that don't know it, in Star Tropics, there was like a password you had to insert. It was the same for every game, but it was in the instruction manual. And this was Nintendo's kind of like anti-rental thing. So then, like, you remember the rental cases back in the day? Like, there was like third parties, like cottage industries, that would create bootleg instruction manuals that you would put on the case. Do you remember this? Do you ever see this before? Like, you'd open a rental case. The instruction manual would always be gone. Like, someone would steal the instruction manual instantaneously. That's a huge memory of mine. Like, if you'd rent a game in the first few weeks, you might get the instruction manual. After that, it was over. So they started making these stickers that were like per game. And it would be like, here are the controls, here's some information. And they would just put it right on the case itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I recall certain rentals actually getting the booklet with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like,
but it wasn't a bootleg.
But someone would abscond with it every time. Like, if the game was more than a month or two old, you would never get the instruction manual, ever.
Right.
It's like how when I used to rent JRPGs on SNES and Genesis or whatever, and then I would delete everyone's saves on them when I would get them.
Oh, yeah,
people
you
were
got to do that.
hoping that they would kind of get one by the goalie, and I'm like, no. Not on my watch. And I remember specifically renting like role-playing games, and you'd get like there would be time usually on them, and so you kind of jump in and cheat a little bit just to see like what's going on here. And then you'd back out and go back to your own save.
Right.
Oh, the memories.
Right.
The memories.
I was renting pretty late in the game, Colin. I don't know if it was the last game I remember renting, but I remember renting Metal Gear Solid 5 on launch day.
5?
Yes.
So on PS4?
On PS4, because I was very interested in it, but this was during a time where I was... What year was that? 2015? 15?
It was September 1st, 2015. The reason I know that is because it's the same day Mad Max came out.
September 1st.
Which I loved.
Yeah. So I was living in the apartment, freshly married. Game decisions were important. Couldn't buy every new game or any game I wanted. So I rented it. And I thought, this is incredible. And I bought it.
Very nice. Very nice.
From Family Video, RIP in peace.
Family Video, RIP. I loved learning when I learned more about Family Video, which I did. It was years ago now that when we did the knockback episode, which was an early one in 2018 about the video store, which was a great episode.
Oh yeah.
And I did like a lot of research on it, and I was like, what is this brand? Now, as far as I know, they're gone now, right? Like you were saying. But even at that time, they still had like this robust store, like rural kind of thing going on. And the guy that runs Family Video was was like mega rich. So it was working.
Yeah.
Whatever was going on.
Our Family Video, a couple funny things about it. Number one was I was the only one coming in to rent 4K movies. And eventually they just knew because they kept, every time they're like, do you have a 4K player? And I was like, yes. And they eventually just realized that they're like, yeah, you and one other guy are the only people that rent these 4K discs. I'm like, dude, they're They're $30 a pop. I'm
Yeah,
not
no, it's not really worth it for you to be doing this.
I'm not trying to buy every 4K that I want to watch. I wish it would, dude, I would still rent 4K movies if I could locally. But at some point in Family Video's life, they became a part CBD shop. Like you go in, there's all the movies, and there's a section that's CBD stuff.
That's the death knell.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're trying to do multiple things. Unless you're like, you don't live in a truly rural area either. Unless you're like,
Yeah.
this is like where everything is in this one place. I remember when I was a kid, like a little kid, like late 80s, early 90s, there were supermarkets that would rent videos and like video games. That was like a thing they were trying to do.
Oh, yeah. The supermarket rental. Dude, here in the Pittsburgh area, okay, we have our local grocery store chain, Giant Eagle, or known better as Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle, yeah.
But they leaned into the Pittsburghese because the video rental was called Eagle Video. It's literally spelled IGGL, something like that. But it wasn't Giant Eagle Video. Eagle Video.
Interesting.
We rented many, many Nintendo 64 games there.
That's where Dagan shops over in the Philly burbs. Now, I don't know if you've paid attention, but the first round of the playoffs in the NHL playoffs is Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia.
Oh, no, I did not see that. Everyone's obsessed with the draft right now.
Yeah, that's
around
Thursday.
Here.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Thursday is the big day. That's the first round.
It's crazy enough. We discussed this lightly a few weeks ago, but Holly's appointment that happens every Tuesday in Pittsburgh has been moved to remote, even though it's on Tuesday.
Yeah, just to stay.
They're like, yeah, we're not doing this if we don't have to. I'm like, okay, that's great. But I had a couple people ask me, they're like, are you going down just to check things out at the draft? You know, because there's like free stuff going on.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I saw that the parking rates, not even right by it, but like somewhere where you have to take the T or a bus or something, were like $500. And I don't need that chaos. So I will not be going down to the draft.
No, you don't want to go down.
I don't want to go down there. I'm going to stay up here in Butler this week. But
stay up in Butler.
Stay up here.
Stay up here in Butler. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Dude, you said that. It reminded me of a video. There's an Instagram video that pops up in my feed like maybe every other day. It's this guy talking about the trucker diet. Does anyone in the chat know about the trucker diet video? It's this guy going around and it's this like trucker guy. He's got like missing teeth, huge gut. He's like, so what do you normally get for a drive? And he's like, for a drink. And he has like the most exaggerated. He gets lemonade. He's like, oh, some lemonade. Sounds pretty good. And he goes, keeps the body good, quenches that thirst. And he talks with such, like, it's like way more extreme than the Southern man. Be like, get some peanut butter crackers. Like, he barely even enunciates. Roller dog. Okay, the chat knows.
Roller dog.
Roller dogs. I got a pickle in a pouch. Okay, I'm glad this meme, I wasn't sure how niche it was. Kitty rollers. Yeah, dude. Okay, I'll send this to you later, Colin.
Dude, the pickle in the pouch. This was a weird thing that at IGN Guides when it still existed, where I started it in the industry.
Pickle in the pouch.
We had a. Oh, I'm getting a scam call. Should we answer it?
Sure.
Let's see. Hello. Hello.
You've been reprogrammed.
They hung up. They fucking hung up. Why are you even bothering? How do you know that I wasn't your mark? You know? All right, now pickles in a pouch. Yeah. We used to collect those. And then we would never eat them. And we had them all. I have pictures of them, certainly. Like we had them stacked on this shelf over time. And then one of them started developing like, you know, where you tear the plastic. It started developing like this mold. We never did anything about it. When we ended up moving offices, we were told we had to throw them out.
Oh,
so yeah. Like the office manager's like, you can't bring the pickle collection to the new office, unfortunately, guys. Sorry.
Damn.
And we were really disappointed about that.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me kind of a similar type instance where when I was in youth group as a kid, there was this game where they put a giant paper on the wall and put a target, and you had to get peach rings and then fling them onto the target. This is the type of stuff you did in youth group, Made sense.
Mhm.
Someone accidentally flung one high up in the corner of the room, and this was in the basement of the church.
Mm.
And when they repainted, we were the ones repainting. We painted a square around the peach ring. And I was in there a few months ago, still there. It's been there 15 plus years. There's a peach ring on the wall of my church in
Nice.
the basement.
Remember, did anyone I've said this before. I didn't go to a very nice high school, Bellport High School. It was pretty rough. People, we did bows and arrows. They probably don't even do that anymore because someone would probably get killed. People used to shoot them to the roof of the gym. So for like years, there were just like a few arrows, like because I don't know how anyone's gonna get up there,
Yeah.
And then people started taking like the brown shitty paper towels you'd get, and they would make them really wet and then throw them as hard as they could at like the roofs or whatever, and they, complete disrespect.
Sure.
I still can't believe they let us use bows and arrows in high school when I went there. But then my stepdad always says, he grew up in Brooklyn, and he was like, oh, in the 60s, like we had a rifle club.
Mm-hmm.
And like they would literally go into the basement of the school and shoot rifles, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's.
I think there was a rifle team at Butler, but they were not shooting on site. Like they had to go to a range to practice and then compete.
It's like when Northeastern had a football team, which we don't anymore.
Mm.
We did for decades. I lived with a football player actually, my freshman year, and they used to have to. The stadium was like off campus. Like you had to like take buses and like go to this like high school level facility, and then we had like this beautiful hockey arena and all this other stuff on campus, which they just knocked down. Actually.
Damn.
It's a little bit of a shame because for hockey fans, where Northeastern played hockey for like forever was called Matthews Arena, and it was where the Bruins originally played. It is the most historic Division I arena, and I was surprised that they were going to do anything though, because I was like, I'm surprised you're even allowed to do that. But it's so small that they can't really make good money for the team. The team is like the hockey team is like the biggest team for the school, and the arena doesn't quite fit. So I gotta buy a brick. You can still do that.
Oh, the brick. It's like the Berlin Wall.
Right, exactly. You could buy anything. You could buy like a seat, you could buy all sorts of stuff, but I'm gonna buy a brick, and I'm gonna buy an engraved brick for the new building that like you get your engraving in it.
Right.
So
that'd be nice.
Cool. Yeah, because I still have still a fan. I always say this is my Northeastern hockey jersey from
very nice,
from literally the 90s that my mom bought me when she taught there before I went there. And you gotta support the team,
Yeah.
I'm supporting all sorts of teams today. I got the Islanders thing on. They're not even in the playoffs. I got my Jets shirt on. This is for Nick Mangold, who died.
Oh yeah.
He was only in his early 40s. I think it was of a kidney disease. So when you bought this shirt, the proceeds went to like a kidney foundation. I don't usually buy a lot of like Jets merch because it's always bought for me.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things where I had to go out and support the team,
There's I don't know if it's a new Pirates logo or just new merch. And it was getting a lot of traction online. It looks very metal. I was kind of into it. Like it was like the Pirates logo looked like almost like a metal band.
Let me see. New
I don't know if it's a new official
Pittsburgh Pirates logo,
or is it in New Jersey?
I don't know. I'm surprised. Why don't you rep a little bit? You know what one of my favorite logos in all of sports is the Pittsburgh Penguins, which you just went to a team, but the old Penguins logo. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's two, like where it's more of a cartoony. He's like,
yeah, the old one.
I love that logo, dude.
Oh, I still have this sitting on my futon from when I showed it off. This is my only Pens merchandise, and it's got
like that's the face, like that like the angry penguin face. I love that, dude. It's so funny. He's just holding the stick. It's how I feel about the Miami Dolphins logo, the old Miami Dolphins logo. I'm like, this is so great.
I'd love to go to a Penguins game again. I'm there. I'm trying to drink Pounders the whole time.
What if you were given an all right? So you guys don't have a basketball team, which I always found a little weird that Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team. But you guys
Yeah.
have a professional hockey team, a professional basketball team, and a professional baseball team. What merch would you be most likely to wear? The Pirates, the Penguins, or the Steelers?
I can tell you Steelers is the least likely.
Interesting. That's the
Uh,
most boring one, I think, and that's probably by far the most popular one too. So you want to go
yeah,
into the
yeah,
niche.
yeah.
The pirate P is pretty iconic. That Pittsburgh P
Oh yeah.
on the hat. I'm sure you see that a lot.
Now let me send you, Colin. I found the merch that I was talking about. So let me send it to you. How do you chat in this?
There
thing?
is a
Here it
chat,
here
I
it here it
think. Yeah.
This is the new. Sorry for everyone in the audience.
So like, yeah, I don't know that I like that, to be honest. You like the writing.
The writing is cool.
Yeah, the logo on the arm is kind of cooler.
Yeah.
He's got like a big ass hat on, it looks like. I love
Yeah.
the pirate. I love the characters. We were talking about that I was at a family party. I was at Easter. I was like, the Indians used to have the most racist logo, but it was kind of dope. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
At the same time, we have to admit it was kind of dope.
Now,
was it racist? It was so much more racist than the Redskins logo that it was wild how racist it was.
Sure.
But it did serve a purpose for many years. Major League. You ever see the movie Major League? Any see any of those movies before?
No.
You probably didn't. What would you ever care about Major League for?
My sports movies like Sandlot. That's
Sandlot. What bothers me about Sandlot is that kid wore that hat with a really long brim on it. I wanted to punch him in his fucking face when I saw that.
Yeah.
You know, but they had a nice little park. I mean, it wasn't nice, but they had like that was a much more robust park than I ever played wiffle ball in or whatever.
Right.
Stop hitting dingers into that guy's yard. It wasn't a James Earl. Was it James Earl Jones? Was the name? Was the neighbor?
That's tickling something in my mind. I remember snippets of that movie, but it's been so long. He has like a crazy dog or something.
Right. And he ends up being like a nice. Doesn't he end up being like someone or knowing someone or something? There's something about it.
There's like a baseball that's like as famous. Oh, this reminds me of some. This is a 420 stream, and I'm not even high. Based on the way we're navigating here, I watched a video about Babe Ruth's diet. Now, this guy was like, "I'm eating the Babe Ruth diet." I don't think it was fully accurate because it was like, oh, for the late afternoon snack, it's 4 hot dogs and 4 Cokes. And people in the comments were like, listen, this was probably a much smaller Coke bottle of the era than 4 full cans. But he was eating like 2 steaks for breakfast with giant plate of potatoes, like 8 hot dogs a day. I'm like, man, no wonder this guy was a legend. He was being powered by only the best.
Legendary.
The best fuel.
Just a classic power hitter.
Yeah.
You know, bulk. You know, he would have thrived in the DH era. Dustin, what does DH in baseball mean?
I don't know.
Designated hitter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, to return to the original question that we had multiple non sequiturs.
Yeah. I mean, that was an Inception non sequitur. Yeah.
The question is, which one would I wear? I want to be clear, first of all. I would never wear any of these teams, not because I hate it. I feel like it's disrespectful.
Really? Because I don't mind when townies, which you are one, wear the local merch, even if they're not into it. I'm okay with that. What I don't like is some rando in like Seattle wearing a Pirates hat, and then you're like, oh, you're a Pirates fan? He's like, no, I just like the hat. That's a little fucking weird, you know? But you're a townie.
I'm a townie. I feel like between Pirates and Penguins, I know they're kind of equal for me. Because
I had a Penguins jersey as a kid.
Oh.
Now that's a little different. I wasn't, because I didn't. I used to just love wearing. This is a thing. Like, I was a little ahead of the curve. I could have been like a rapper in the 90s because they all loved wearing hockey jerseys.
Sure.
Like I remember Biggie in one of his videos was wearing an Oilers jersey. I was like, an Oilers jersey? That's fucking wild. So that was a big thing for me. I had like at some point like 15 hockey jerseys, and one of them was a home At the time, home teams wore white. They wear their darker colors at home now. But I had a home Penguins jersey, but it had no name on the back. I always wanted to get like Barrasso or something on the back of it, like some player I liked. But shout out to the Penguins.
Shout out.
I mean, I hate them. I actually fucking hate the Penguins, but they're a major rival of the Islanders.
Okay.
But I have respect for them. I just hate the Rangers, and I have no respect for the Rangers. I have no respect for Rangers fans. I have no respect for Madison Square Garden. I have no respect for New York City.
No respect for New York City.
It's a little different this time. Do we have any super chats? Let's get into some super chats.
We have many.
Yeah, let's get through them. I mean, let's enjoy ourselves. We're celebrating the release of Saint Slayer. Available now for $10 or your local equivalent.
Now,
some of you use Imperial credits when you buy video games.
I'm trying to find somebody super chatted before the stream starts. For future reference, I don't recommend doing that because it doesn't catch in my software until the software is up. So I have to go find it to make sure it gets read. Supers and gifts. Scrolling all the way down. This one will not appear on stream, of course. Okay. This is from North Starfish.
Oh.
Colin, what if Bethesda takes inspiration from Kojima and renames Colin Moriarty from Fallout 3 to Peace and Quiet Man?
I don't know. We were talking about this, and this is, we were talking about the potential of them renaming Colin Moriarty in the Fallout 3 remaster. I don't think they will. And we were saying specifically, right, that I want to back, it was almost 20 years ago now, when that happened. I've told the story. For people that don't know, at E3 2008, you have your placard on when you go. It says your name and your website or your publication. So Colin Moriarty, IGN, or whatever. And I was sent to Bethesda. They had a booth at the time, and Fallout 3 was like their big game. And I went and I spoke with Todd Howard and played the game. And they when I first got there, I wasn't well known at that time. I was in the industry for a long time, but I was a strategy guide writer. Like no one would know who I am. So I went, and they thought it was a joke. And they were like murmuring amongst the PR people and be like, did someone send you or whatever? Because basically what it was the demo, and people that were there at E3 might remember, it started you right outside the vault. So at the beginning, obviously you start in the vault and you do all the story stuff. They just cut that out and just put you right in the open world. So you go and you have like a half an hour or 45 minutes to play. So you can theoretically get to Megaton and go meet Colin Moriarty. So they were, and I did, and they thought it was a joke that someone had sent me as like a laugh. So that had come up organically. And now it's a little bit different. So now Colin Moriarty, let's fast forward 18 years. He's told a lot of sexist jokes. He's apparently a political extremist. Sure. And all these kinds of things. So do you want to rename that character now and that? And so, all right, so that's that. Then we were saying that sort of died down. You would get 2008, 2009, 2010 constant questions about it. As the time went on, no more questions. I think people started Googling their answers out there. It's all going to be revived, obviously. There's a whole generation of people that never played Fallout 3. Yep. Generations of them. Yep. And so we're going to be asked the name. Is it named after you? And the answer this time is going to be yes. Are we all on this?
Yes, thank you, Todd.
Are we all on board with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody left a very funny comment on Sacred Symbols this morning that said they'll change Colin Moriarty in Fallout 3 to be Greg Miller. I'm like, dude, that would be so funny.
That would be awesome. I'd love that.
Okay. Flying G writes in, Brad really is the only one that cares.
Yeah, he is. I've noticed that.
Thank you, Brad.
He does. Brad specifically does great work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The legend of Brad Ellis.
What do I got here? I got a stain on this?
Little cum stain?
No, I don't think it's cum. Let me taste it. No, it's not cum.
Not yours, at least.
Well, every once in a while, Micah makes fun of me because I love peanut butter and jelly. Always have.
Yeah.
Skippy or Jif or whatever, and then it's got to be Welch's grape jelly. That's it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, she'll find peanut butter stains or jelly stains somewhere. Like
Mm.
there's peanut butter on the light switch, or there's jelly like on this part of the fridge. And I'm like, it's not me. I didn't do that. You know,
How could it be?
isn't peanut butter and jelly wonderful?
Oh yeah. Dude, that was my go-to. I still eat it occasionally, not often. Sometimes I'm in the mood. Now, I'm a little particular about peanut butter and jelly. I don't like a lot of jelly on it.
Me
Just
neither.
a very thin layer. I don't like.
Me neither.
When I was a kid, my mom would make, packed lunches for me for school, and every once in a while, it would be like, someone's rushing around. My mom would ask my dad to make it, and my dad, I'm thankful that he made me lunch, but there were just, big old globs of jelly on
It's
there,
gross. I totally agree with you.
and I was like,
I also just hated. Listen, I always hated bringing lunch as a kid, and would kind of just like beat around the bush and not really like a sandwich, some sort of cold cut sandwich or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you bring it to school, and then you would like eat it at lunchtime. Very early in my life, like in elementary school, I'm like, I'm getting hot lunch. I
mm,
can't be eating this shit.
mm,
I can't be eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwich at noon that you made at 6. That's not happening. It's got a specific thing going on. But here's the other thing about it. My grandma, R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P. in peace.
She died in 2004, but when my grandfather died, this is my mom's parents. My grandfather died in 1996, and she kind of went senile and lost it. So she wasn't even around by the time I was like 12. But I have very specific memories of her. She made the best peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And there's just something about that, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it's the same ingredients. Every once in a while, though, I'll get that taste, that very nostalgic bite. And it specifically happens on the very rare occasion we use white bread, because we really don't eat white bread. I love white bread. I think white bread's awesome, but we just don't buy it. If
Same.
I'm gonna eat bagels, or I'll eat bagels or English muffins or do something like that. But every once in a while, you get that bite, and it brings you back to Long Island. 1991. I remember my grandma I have a very specific memory of my grandma bringing me to Toys R Us in 1990. So I was only 6 or 7 or whatever it was, to buy Sub-Zero, which was a GI Joe, and Overlord, which was another GI Joe. And I just have such a specific memory of the whole day. So weird, isn't it? Like, why? Because like we had a lot of memories and a lot of trips and a lot of things we did were from, but that memory sticks in my mind. Very strange.
I have a memory like that. You're gonna cringe. It's the day I bought Kingdom Hearts on PS2.
Oh boy.
I was with my grandma, and I
Yeah,
brought
that's
my
the
own.
thing.
I brought my own money, but being a kid, I didn't fully consider tax.
Right.
And so when we got to the counter, she paid the tax, and I said thank you to her. And the guy at GameStop was like, "You're one of the only kids I've ever seen say thank you," and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's the memory that sticks out, is that I said thank you, and the guy noticed.
It's because most kids are little assholes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Certainly.
I used to pull some chicanery with the tax as well, because like I would get, I think I would get $5 or $10 a week or something like that for mowing the lawn when I was like in like 1995 or something, when I was like a little kid. My dad would literally, I lived in like a big plot of land on Long Island, and my dad would like use the push mower to do like a border around the edge. Then he would like put me on the tractor,
Oh,
and I would like do the rest of it, and he would like weed whack or whatever. And so often I would never even get the cash. What we would do is I would go to Toys R Us. I was a huge Star Wars nerd, obviously, and I'd always want to buy Star Wars figures. They were $4.99, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the vehicles were like 15, 20, 25 or whatever. So I would always have these divisible by 5 sums usually. And then I would always pull bullshit, because my dad would never give me all right, I want to go get a toy. And then it would be like $5.25. And I'd be like,
All right.
what do you want me to do about that? Can't do anything about that. Next.
Tacky Lives says, I'm on stage 9.
Oh, that's good.
Same
Stage
fight.
9. That's 3, 6. That's the fight against the Ancient One.
Oh.
Very cool. Yeah. Make sure to talk to the NPC outside there if you want. One of my favorite encounters in the game, in my opinion.
Brandon Shook. Colin, are we excited for the draft on Thursday?
Very excited. Well, I mean, I'm not very excited, but just interested. I was talking to my uncle about it, who's a massive football fan, and he was saying like the draft is more exciting than like the Super Bowl. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Totally. because the Super Bowl is always, it's two teams are excited. No one else cares, and it's like this big party and it's a big event. And since like it's always the good teams, there are just like half the teams never make it. So like that those fan bases are never involved. But everyone's got a thing going, for the draft. Everyone's got a little bit of excitement. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The Jets pick 2nd and 16th on Thursday. Someone's ringing the doorbell.
Come on, man.
Oh, you know what it is? I think we're getting our mosquito treatment today.
Oh.
We get like the monthly. Do you guys do that in your area? Like the monthly mosquito treatment? They like spray. They just come and like they spray this thing on your yard and it kills the eggs.
Oh, okay.
And so they do it every month and it try to just keeps things, And so they must be giving the bill or something like that.
Yeah,
for that. A 420 mosquito treatment.
420. They're gonna. I mean, those mosquitoes are gonna be blazing it.
They're gonna be getting toasted.
Yeah. Now, the next person is this. I shortened it earlier because I was just quickly reading. Lena Mikulix, North Star.
I think, yeah, I think this is a sexual thing, but this person's written in before.
Lena, yeah.
Get a new name.
All right, late to your own game's release day stream. I've seen enough. Sign the company over to Brad. In all seriousness, congrats to Lilymo.
Brad will have a better fiduciary. He'll better exercise his fiduciary obligations towards Lilymo than I do. But he's expensive. So I don't know if we can afford him. He can buy the shares. I mean, it's like I'm not looking to sell, but I'm listening.
Sure.
For my 49% share. By the way, I have to update my profile on Twitter because it says writer of 5 indie games. Now that's 6.
6. There you go.
Not now, was there a lot more writing than's in the game? Yeah, there was. Did I want to wedge more story into the game? Yeah. Would it have probably made the game worse? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Should write a visual novel.
It's funny, man, because I was thinking about. I've thought about this for Hyroxia too. Was like I should just write a novella at some point or something like that. Just like some random thing.
Sure.
For one of these,
Why not? Okay, Zaxby says, I'm really looking forward to playing the game after work. Been following its development for the past year. So proud of LSM and Lilymo Games. You're welcome. I did a lot of hard work on Saint Slayer.
Well, everyone's involved. I mean, not everyone, but our company is involved. Like,
yeah.
Colin's Last Stand owns Last Stand Media and 49% of Lilymo. Dustin works for Colin's Last Stand. So occasionally I send him in the other direction. Not usually. But like when we're getting the physical game stuff going or whatever, I'm sure we'll kind of activate you in some way for that. Or whatever, because I pool the money from all of those things into one thing that pays out everybody. So that's kind of the nature of. So they're like everyone at Last Stand kind of has a little piece of Lilymo in their hearts. By the way, speaking of heart, Sweetheart, I've been watching the re-releases of the Chris Chan documentary.
Right.
I watched episode 5 last night. I feel like Geno Samuel is kind of going a little over the top with the impersonations of Chris Chan when he reads his stuff. He's like, I feel like he's playing a version of himself now. He's too self-aware. Sure. This is where things start teetering for creators. What keeps us fascinated?
I'm excited for you to get to the Liquid Chris saga, but it's going to be a bit.
Oh, I see. I've gotten that far in the original run.
Okay,
but I did bail out at some point. Like I got maybe like a fourth of the way through or something. So I'm like totally ignorant on most of it. Really?
Yeah.
The
next super chat, some weird ass elite name.
By the way, hold on a second. Kavazna Sui says, "Show the game already." We're not showing the game. We already said that. We showed you a trailer, but we're not showing you the game. This is celebrating the release.
Smoke if you got him. We should drink beer.
I'll probably get so sleepy.
You will fall asleep immediately. So will I.
Especially because I drink only IPA, and it's like I think in the fridge right now I have like Great Return or something, and it's like 7.5%.
Whew,
It's like, come on, man,
I'll do it.
can't be doing that. I can't be doing it at 147 on a Monday.
No.
I'm already degenerate enough. Can't do it, man.
Okay, this super chat said, "Happy SSSS Day." Ooh, happy to purchase on PS5, Switch 2, and Steam.
Wow.
Excited to dive in, blaze it with a salute.
Thank you for your support. That's
Does
very
he need
kind
to
of
be
you.
buying it 3 times though?
No, he doesn't. I'm not going to say no.
Sure.
That's $20 in revenue for us. You know, that's good. Very good.
Very good.
It's a little more than that, right? I don't know math.
Cash Money Savior says, "Hey boys, did either one of you catch Jaffe's streaming Saint Slayer last night at midnight? Congrats, Colin."
Wait, where are we in this? I'm trying to. Oh, there we are. Okay, I'm trying to keep up with you here. I didn't, but I've been hearing in the chat. Oh, it was the mosquito guy. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Micah just texted me. So, but I heard that he rage quit, which both pleases me and disappoints me.
Mm.
You want to see Jaffe squirm a little bit, but I don't want him to not like my game.
Sure.
But if he's upset with the difficulty and all of that, that's Barry's fault. And that's Josh's fault. It's not mine. I just wrote the thing. You know, you got to blame those guys for the difficulty.
I don't know if I told you this. I think I alluded to it. I gave Barry one piece of feedback after the release, the reveal stream with the demo. I said to him, I said, "Hey, I respect that this is very traditional, but what if there was an option for the jump to not be traditional?" And here's the thing. I wasn't saying like demanding this. Like, I know there's people that are like, Souls games need an easy mode, but I was like, might make it a little more accessible to some people. And Barry responded. I said, I was just like, this could be a good option, because like I was really struggling with it because I'm not used to that classic control scheme. Barry very firmly was like, "No, we're not doing that." And I was like, I get it. But then I noticed in the one review, the one negative thing was the controls, the jump. And I was like, see?
It's hard. I'm not objective, right?
Yeah.
It feels exactly the way it's supposed to feel.
I agree. I totally agree.
Like there's nothing wrong with the way it feels. That's obviously going to be a matter of taste, but it feels exactly the way we want it to feel. So like when I see stuff like that, it's like, well, that's cool that you feel that way, but it feels exactly the way we intended it to feel. The knockback is supposed to be severe. He's a stiff Belmont-like adventurer.
Yeah.
With deliberate attacks. He has to lean into things. If you jump and don't move, he just jumps up and falls like a rock. That's the way it's supposed to feel. So I get that that's not going to be for everyone. But for anyone that we're truly aiming the game at, they will understand what we're doing. But yeah, just blame Barry.
Blame Barry.
I did see... I was reading some of the reviews. Yeah, they've been very complimentary. Everyone loves the music, so shout out to Laser Josh. We have 2 Joshes working on the game. Did a great job with that. Obviously, the guys did an awesome job laying the game out. The art is beautiful, and all of the rest. But I did have someone say that, like, I think it was something. It was like one of the video reviews being like, the writing's like all right or like not very good, and I think they were trying to like be funny or make things like. And I'm like, I wasn't really trying to be funny. There are a few things where I'm trying to be funny, but it's supposed to be a little more somber than our other games are. So yeah. But yeah, the Jaffe thing's so interesting because he played through the demo, I thought, and the demo is through that part that he washed out on.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't seen nothing yet.
In Syria says, "Bought the game at midnight on Steam, and I am god awful at it. The vibe is immaculate, though."
Nice. Hell yeah. That's I think the key. That's what I brought to the project. if Barry and the Joshes brought the audio and the visual heft, the design, the programming, the immaculate nature in which the game is laid out or whatever, I brought the characters and the setting and the story that I think grounds the whole thing, because it was going to be something very different than what it ended up being.
Mm.
And I think that I've said it before, like the guy, when they designed Spear Game, which is what we originally called it, they wanted to set it in like Roman or Greek times.
Oh.
And I was like, that's so the original thing I've said before is that I was like not going to be involved. I was like, that's fine. I don't want to write that because I don't know that I have no passion for that. I don't care, you know,
You don't
about
ponder
that.
the Roman Empire.
Yeah, like I that's so funny, like, 'cause that's like a joke. I'm like, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit about the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting, of course, like any other piece of history is, but it's not something I focus on in any way. And I'm like, I don't really know it, so I like I'll support you in any way I can. I'll be here, do your thing. And they were like, well, what would you want it to be about? And I'm like, let me think about it. And then I came back with Central Europe, 1698. And I think that brings the appropriate Gothic horror that we were looking for. And they did such a good job of, you know, Josh with the art and whatever, just such a good job of capturing that. And that beautiful 8-bit aesthetic that he's such an expert in.
Okay. Coders says, sorry to Dustin for my joke last stream. I know you're not a crazy conservative Christian. Also, a crazy conservative Christian is commenting on Sacred Symbols on Spotify, Sacred Symbols episodes. We've heard about this.
I still got to look into this. I'm going to look right now. Go ahead.
We got to investigate. I got to be honest, I have no memory of a joke from last week about me being a crazy conservative Christian. It probably was.
I think someone was saying, like, we talked about that in some way. You are a conservative Christian. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. I think there's...
You're not an evangelical far-right Christian.
No.
Well, you can call you are allowed to label yourself however you want. I don't think there's anything wrong with that moniker.
I don't like any labels at all, really.
Yeah, I understand that.
Like, because I don't feel like I fit into any of those. If you say conservative Christian, there's a very distinct thing that people think that I'm like, what, one thing or another. And because like on the political stuff, I have said many times that I think that everyone fucking sucks. Could I not be more clear about that?
Yeah,
I
think that's true, and I agree with you, and yet I also feel like that kind of an opinion is a cop-out sometimes too, to be honest.
I don't think it's a cop-out. I think it's actually very similar to your opinion. It's like, we want better choices.
Yeah, I want better. My whole thing, and I say this over and over again, is like, and I think you and I agree here, and I said this even before the election, is like, I don't give a fuck about any of these people on an optics level. In other words, like, I'm using you. Like, I'm voting for the person I want to use to do what I want to do. And if they're not effective for me, then I'm just going to throw them in the garbage and vote for the next person that I think is going to do the things that I want them to do. I've only ever been evangelical about one politician ever in my entire life, and it's Ron Paul.
Yeah.
Otherwise, who I think was a great man, is a great man, and was a great thinker, and was a major reason that I transformed into, out of neoconservatism. But other than that, I could give a shit. So like with the thing with Trump or whatever, it's like, well, Trump's not following through. It's like, I don't give a fuck about him. Like he can throw his whole legacy in the garbage. I'm going to vote for the next person, and so on and so forth. So I think it's good to feel that way and to use them as pawn pieces. They're putting themselves on the board. It's not like you're putting them on the board.
Right.
So
I've said before, and I'll say it again now, since I might be being rage baited in the chat by saying it's a cop-out. But I truly believe that mainstream politics are not investing wholly yourself into, because you will only be disappointed, and you can use that energy elsewhere to do things either for your own life that are much more important, or people around you locally that you actually can affect some kind of change.
I agree. Well, the old trite saying, all politics is local. Yeah, I just think you should use them as avatars, as it were. That's why, like, I've never been to like a political rally in my life. I've never gone to a protest in my life. I've never done anything like that. Like, so, people will be like, Colin, these people are MAGA or whatever. And I'm like, not really, dude. I mean, like, I just want good things. I'm not really going to become anything. I'm actually I'm independent registered. Because I'm open to voting for other things. Just the partisan nature of everything I think is disappointing. Not in that things don't decay into partisanship, but that people are stuck in those ruts.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
George Washington always had this idea, and in his farewell address, he talks about how there should be no political parties, and it's like, well, that's kind of impossible because there's A or B. You know,
Mhm.
and so like people are just going to start grouping together. It's like it's a thing you can't avoid. What you have to do is be willing to move between positions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you for rating it.
Pork Poncho, the legend, says music in level 4 slaps. Also, I'm bad at this game.
Can't be good at everything. No one, you're not going to be carrying anyone through this game. Not that there's any. Well, you could carry. I mean, there's a local co-op, so you could theoretically carry a player, a friend, through the game like you do in Marathon. It's funny, man. Like, I just think you play anything enough, and you're going to become really good at it, obviously. And my feedback, and I think Josh's feedback towards the end of the game was like, might be a little easy. So like, I'm kind of pleased to hear that that's not translating that way because I truly believe the original Castlevania is harder than Saint Slayer, but maybe it's not.
I like Zenard says thanks for the write-in, Ben Star. If you didn't hear his voice, Colin, because we didn't have him on the voice chat for our stream, but we did on the Cryo Archive stream, and everyone thinks that Pork Poncho sounds like Ben Star, and I think they're right. Now, we're getting lots of requests for another marathon stream.
Yeah.
Now, I've already discussed this with Chris and Pork Poncho. We want to do it, but two things. Number one, it will be a bonus stream because not everyone wants a marathon Monday, and that's fine. When we do it, though, we are working potentially. I don't know if I should tease this because I don't know if it will happen. We would like to do the compiler on stream. And none of us are able to do it yet. There's too much to do. So if we could achieve that, then maybe we'll do a compiler stream. But I think all three of us still need to do vaults 5 and 6. And you need very rare keys in order to even attempt them.
I don't mind. I was going to say, I don't mind Marathon being a more regular stream if people enjoy it. I mean, I think it's okay for us to fall into little traps every now and again of liking something and playing it if the audience enjoys it. Like I think if we were streaming when Helldivers came out, I feel like we would have definitely streamed that multiple times.
Yeah.
So I really have no problem with that. It's really about what you guys want to do and how you want to execute on that. I have no problem with that though.
Right.
If that's where your head's at.
Well, if we do a compiler stream, it will need to be on a Friday because the Cryo Archive is only open.
Right. So yeah, it would be a bonus. So yeah, it wouldn't even matter then. Then in that case, yeah, like okay, so then it certainly doesn't matter.
If people truly want even more than that, we could arrange for a Monday one where we are hunting to get the keys that we need in order to do that compiler stream someday. But it's very difficult. It is so fucking difficult.
In my head right now, I'm thinking Jaffe next week and then the Saint Slayer Platinum run the week after, I think is where my mind's at for Monday streams. But anything can come up between now and then, of course, and change plans.
Cool. Okay, next write-in. Complete Control says happy belated birthday to Fozzie Bear. Now, is he talking about the Muppet Fozzie Bear or the member of our community named Fozzie?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. Fozzie Bear birthday. Fozzie Bear does not have a widely recognized official birthday as he is a fictional character. Thank you, Gemini. While other Muppets have specified dates, Fozzie's birthday is not canonized. See, that's like nonsense, non sequitur AI speak. He is a fictional character. They're like, he doesn't have a widely recognized official birthday as he is a fictional character. While other Muppets have specified dates. It's like,
oh man.
What? You just told me that he's a fictional character, so why would he have a birthday? But anyway, these other fictional characters have birthdays, and here it's like, all right, good. Very good. Good work.
Very good. So I'm going to assume that it's our community member named Fozzie. And if so, shout out. Great guy. Met him many times. Okay. Numerical Chemist says, got the vanilla ending in Saint Slayer this morning. Stage 19 fucked me up something fierce. Love the style, music, writing, and gameplay. Keep it up.
Thank you, but you really like the writing, right? That's maybe your favorite part. I said it earlier in the stream. Stage 19 is a true test of metal for the gamer out there. So good luck. Godspeed. Get the other 3 endings.
We have a message from Fozzie, an update.
Oh, okay.
He says, Comp came to my birthday party over the weekend. We met at the Sacred LA meetup with Dustin and Brad earlier this year.
Oh, okay.
Hell
well,
yeah. Look at that. People coming together, becoming friends through our community. I love to see it. Love to see it. Happy birthday, Fozzie. Let me scroll all the way back down. Wow, a lot of super chats to get through. Thank you, guys. Dave Calzone says, just bought the game off my Steam wish list. Good luck on sales. Hope it slays.
We got that conversion. Yes. Wish lists we almost got the 15,000 wish list before the game. I think we were 20 away, which is more than twice what our goal was for launch. Our goal was 7,500 wish lists, and we got to 14,980 or something.
Hell yeah.
But the thing is that, and I was saying this to someone recently off stream, someone in my family maybe, because they were kind of explaining this, how it all works. And I'm like, wish lists are great. You want wish lists, but the conversion rate is wildly different for game by game. There are games like that. I was bringing it up. I was telling Mike, I don't remember it. It's called like 1398 something or whatever. It's about the female knight, the 3D game that just came out.
That's one of the woke targets.
That game apparently had more than 100,000 wish lists.
Oh.
And apparently didn't sell really at all. And so I'm like, what do you do with that? So it's like what we say about YouTube subscribers, where I'd rather just know. It's like, I have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I'm like, how many do you really have?
Right.
If our 97,000 went to 50, but I knew it was 50,000 real people that actually were engaged, I'd prefer that actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, wish lists are good, but that's one step. Got to convert. And we just did. We appreciate it.
Matt Sanders says, I was watching Jaffe's stream yesterday, and I think the music slaps.
Thank you. The music's so good. I agree. The music's excellent. Got the vinyl out there. You guys can check that out. The soundtrack's available digitally. I also think it might be on Spotify now.
Oh. I wonder if it's on Apple Music.
It is. It is
superior service. I don't know.
It is up, so people can check that out at their leisure if they want. Oh, by the way, I meant to go look at the comments for this show. So who's the Christian conservative guy that we're looking for here? Let's see. I don't know. I'm talking specifically earlier about the comment about like how someone like leaves Christian comments or something on our show. What is it?
On Spotify.
What are you doing?
I was fine. This.
Oh.
It's there. It is.
I thought you were going to hold something up to the microphone to hear it.
No. Well, here. Wow.
Yeah, that's a jam.
Imagine working out. Listen to this.
Oh, hell yeah. Getting going.
Pumping up.
Hell yes.
All right. Gotta scroll all the way down again. So many super chats. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Trevorroth says the game's title is Mike Tyson's final boss.
The game's title. The game title
Saint
is
Slayer.
Mike Tyson's final boss. I feel like I'm on a game show right now. The game title is Mike Tyson's final boss. Mr. Dream? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm looking at...
I think you skipped one, by the way.
Oh, did I? Which one?
Matt Sanders 2207. You read that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was about the music. I'm sorry. I was looking at this one with the wish list. I thought we spun off of that question for some reason. I'm sorry.
All good. Okay, wait. People are saying the lisp for Mike Tyson. Faint Flare.
Oh, Spear of Sacrilege.
It really is. Damn.
Spear of Sacrilege.
Damn. Okay. Mr. K says someone lovingly called it Unk Slop. Ha 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 ha. Is
Yeah,
it
I'll
an
take it.
Unk Slop game? Probably.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, you have to be familiar with. I mean, if you don't know NES games, I don't know why you would play this game. Or at least you would be unfamiliar with what we're trying to do. So yeah, in a way, that's. I don't like this. Everything's slop, which I get.
Mhm.
It's a word we use. It's this new noun, but let's think of something a little nicer.
Nashville Nibbling says, Colin, I noticed the RHCP reference in the latest Sacred Symbols episode. As a diehard Pepperhead, I want to know your favorite album. Mine is BTW.
By the
P.S.
way, yeah.
Bought Saint Slayer.
Thank you. Californication's probably my favorite, followed by Blood Sugar Sex Magic. I like, by the way, that's the last record I really, really liked of theirs. I think, what is it, Stadium Arcadium? The double album is pretty good too. The lyric that I used, though, is from One Hot Minute. I think it was specifically from Aeroplane. That's obviously like the bastard kind of Red Hot Chili Peppers album that they don't even acknowledge. Dave Navarro was the guitarist on that album, instead of John Frusciante. But I actually really like that album too. And I wish they would acknowledge it. I don't think they play anything off of it. I think there might be one song that they play sometimes, but they don't play anything off it, including Aeroplane, which is so interesting. Warped. I love the first song on that album. I love that song.
Do you know the Weird Al Red Hot Chili Peppers song?
Which one is it?
Yabba Dabba Dabba Do Now.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's good shit. We have Jaffe in the chat.
Oh.
He said, I liked the game, but it's simply too hard for me and too exacting for me. But that's how the game is meant to be, right? So it is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Put it on easy if you're. I don't want you to cry.
He says, so it is working great, but I'm not that kind of player. Love the IP though. Was that enough enthusiasm, Jaffe?
That was. I will. Thank you though. I'm already thinking about the sequel. We all are. So, and what we want to do. So, glad you like the IP anyway. Thank you.
Someone said, Jaffe, use code DSP.
Oh yeah, you could use code DSP if you want. You could use code Moriarty too if you want, if you have any balls. That's a thing I could do, although I don't know if I could. So Barry, I think, did it as a joke, but we were talking about the game being. I specifically wanted the trophies to be harder. Now it's kind of crazy to say when we had to beat the game 8 times to get the platinum trophy, but and so I was like, oh, I think that should be the real challenge. But anyway, as like a response to that, we decided not to do that. But he put Moriarty as one of the passwords, and if you do that, you play on classic mode with no lives, and there are no extra lives in the run. It's pretty hardcore. I don't think I beat Saint Slayer without dying, because you always die in some incidental time. Now that might be a fun stream to try to do that as well, Moriarty mode in the future. I think I could do it, but I'm gonna have to replay a lot probably, and I think it might get boring for people. So, yeah. But I am looking forward to the PS4 Platinum run in the coming weeks. I think that'll be a lot of fun. The reason I'm not playing it today or next week is I want to give people time to play it themselves. I'm really good at the game, so I can just blaze through it, and I don't want to spoil it for you. You should enjoy it on your own.
Clean Frame says, I bought Saint Slayer in hopes that supporting Colin and Lilimo will help the Sacred Symbols RPG's production. Is it a Sacred Symbols RPG? I don't think so. Not a fan of MVs, well, not more than RPGs.
Well, all right, so multiple things. It's not a Metroidvania.
Metroidvanias. Okay.
It's a Classicvania, and it's not a Sacred Symbols RPG. There are Sacred Symbols games, Twin Breaker and Tribreaker. I think I actually saw that. I think Barry said that like 4 people that played Tribreaker liked the game or something, like the new game or whatever. So it's cool that you can see like the connections of people playing the different games and kind of going into that way. But yeah, I appreciate the support. It will help us get to that point. It's not like we're so far off on that. I want to. It's funny because like I want to show people what we have and talk about it, but like it's like, why? It's better to keep it secret until the time when we're ready to show it, if that time ever comes. And step 1 is making this game big. Bigger than Tribreaker and bigger than Super Perils for sure. Yeah.
D James 311 says, been looking for a good Steam Deck game while I want a break from Clair Obscur on the PC, so picked up Saint Slayer. Hopefully I don't suck at it.
Thank you for picking it up. It is, as I understand, Steam Deck. What do they call it? Steam Deck approved or something? Verified. That's the word they use, right?
Verified, yes.
So
there you go.
Enjoy, please.
Okay. Holly was asking about a grocery pickup. She needs help. She's very pregnant. What time?
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Okay. The Uncharted Wolf says, can't believe Dustin called Jacksepticeye a poser on Sacred. A lot of people upset with how I treated that situation, but
yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
By your militants.
Well, I don't even say it's militant. I'm just saying, I don't know if a lot of people saw the video that I was talking about. That just like, I don't want to retread everything that I already talked about in Sacred Symbols, but Uncharted Wolf is joking. He says, in all seriousness, I think you're too hard on him. Okay. I think he gets Bloodborne's magic. I said that in the show. I said that, so I don't know. I don't know how to like portray what I'm thinking any more than I already did.
Right.
I think he will be good. Just saying some weirdness with that. But I don't know. Maybe I was too hard. I don't remember what I said at this point.
Too harsh.
I know I did say that I think he gets it, but I do think it's marketing.
I see Zane says, Jacksepticeye is a millionaire for screaming at children's games. I don't know what qualifications he has to direct a Bloodborne animation. He's not directing it.
No, he's not directing.
This is, I think, maybe the major thing that like some people, we talked about this on the show. You understand this, but I'm like,
oh yeah,
he's a producer. Two wildly different things. So stand down.
Dead Tired Media says, I'm making modern versions of some of the Saint Slayer tracks to help learn music production. Is the Discord a good place to post these if the team are interested in listening to them? Ahoy is Peak. I'm guessing that's a song title.
I mean, I'd love to hear what you have to say. I've talked to Laser about the guy, Josh, the guy that does the music for our games. And the soundtrack for Saint Slayer, I was saying I would like to convert one of them into like a rock song at some point if we had the means and opportunity to do so. So it's funny that your mind's in the same place. Thank you for your support.
Zach Miklas says, congratulations on the game, Colin. The only critique I have is that it has too much cheese. I can't handle that much cheese.
Yeah, you're lactose intolerant, just like Micah. I've been playing. I didn't play it last night, but I've been playing over the last couple of nights. Mouse PI for Hire or whatever. I think it's exceptional.
It is pretty. Yeah.
Like, I think it's fucking so good. It's so charming. It's so funny. It's, if you love boomer shooters, it's so fun to play. Very fluid. I'm always laughing at like, just like there's a part of the game. None of these are spoilers, but there's part of the game where they're just bats just hanging like on a ceiling, and I'm like, they are so cute. Like, I love all the little mouse characters and the mouse females, like that one mouse female you meet that like speaks in the French accent, and like the reporter, and it's so good. It's so good, dude. Like I'm like so impressed by it. And I hope they're getting good feedback, and I hope that, ultimately get more of it in the future, because I think there's an expansion maybe coming for it, but I really, really like it. Like, I think it's so good. There is a lot of like the cheese. It mentions cheese so much, and you had said that as well. But I think, and at first it's kind of annoying, but I actually think it's kind of endearing. Like, in their world, they have all these euphemisms that they employ, and a lot of them have to do with cheese or whatever. I think it's cute. I really like it. Shout out to that game.
DLAN 720. All right, you're gonna love this one, Colin. Colin, what specifically stops you from trying CRPGs? I'd get it if you'd played many in the past, but it seems you haven't given any a fair shot.
They just don't look good to me. They don't look fun at all. Also, I've been sitting on a computer so much. You know how I have a shoulder problem sometimes when I sit at my computer? Well, I haven't been doing that so much. But then over the last few weeks, especially as we're like getting ready to launch the game, I'm at my computer like constantly, because I'm playing it on Steam and we're doing all these things. I'm typing and I'm writing and whatever. And my arm started to hurt again. And I was like, damn, I hate playing like this. And I was writing last night, and I found myself like
Oh yeah.
Became like self-aware, and I'm like, dude, like what the fuck? I'm like sitting like a lowercase c, you know. I gotta, and you gotta, and then you do that, and then you slowly find yourself being like, and then 5 minutes later you become
Yeah.
self-aware. My head is like this far away from my keyboard. You have to be somewhere else you want to be.
No. This sometimes there's a family chat going off.
Oh yeah, I always
And it's
mute
like,
those.
sometimes there's no. I wish there was an option that it was like mute for 1 hour. You know.
Yeah, now you always get new permutations of people, so that you obviously can't mute those. But like for the permutations, like known permutations of multiple people on a thread, so like my siblings or um my family thread, like the Virginia thread of like go to this party, whatever. They're all muted
I think what I
because
need to
people
do.
go off in those threads, dude.
Yeah.
And then you get back and there's like literally 90 posts,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know
That
what
happens.
you want me to.
I'll be more obvious if I'm looking like I'll do what you do, where it's like, hold on, someone's texting me, and then I read it aloud instead
Right.
of
Well,
try to keep it
why,
sly.
because I don't want to be rude, you know.
Sure.
So I want to let people know I'm not looking at my time. I'm not like, doing one of those moves, but rather, my it is vibrating.
Sure.
There's a method to the madness. There's always a method to the
A
madness.
little bit of method to this madness down here.
Yeah. Come on now. Well, I told you I've been calling Mike a woman now. So I was like one syllable. So I was like, come on.
Super Atlantis 1 has the next super chat. Says, Dustin, when your kid is born, I'm going to drink and drive in your honor. Nah, though. Happy launch day, Colin. I have the game downloading to my Switch 2 as we speak, and we'll be playing while you stream.
Cool. Enjoy it, please. Plays great on Switch. Apparently, I haven't played it there. Appreciate your support. Don't drink and drive.
No.
Drinking and driving is like one of the most loserous things you can possibly do, in my opinion.
I have
Put yourself in danger. I don't give a fuck about you. And I'm not saying you Super Atlantis. I'm saying I don't care about the driver. I care about everyone else. If drunk drivers just drove around and could only hurt themselves or other drunk drivers, I'd be like, have. In fact, like, you should drive drunk all the time. But that's not the case, right? You're amongst innocent people that you could hurt. If it was just bumper cars with drunk drivers and that was it, we can winnow this fucking gene pool in 2 seconds, But alas.
Idea. Demolition Derby requirements, you must be drunk to compete. That's the punishment. You get arrested for drunk driving, you must compete in a Twisted Metal
right
tournament.
Right.
And they like check you got to have a certain blood alcohol level in order, and then they put you in a car.
Volker Kane says, damn, coming for Gene's throat. I think Gene would be the first person to tell you that that's DBS. Which, by the way, is dirtbag shit.
Yeah.
I think he'd be I have my closest experience to drunk driving ramifications is when my old coworker, Jared Petty at IGN, do you remember this? He and his wife were on the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge is the bridge that crosses from Oakland to San Francisco. So not the Golden Gate Bridge, but I almost call it the Gay Bridge, the Bay Bridge. It is also a gay bridge.
A little bit.
And they got hit head on that bridge by a drunk driver. And one of the things I'll always remember about that is, Jared was okay. His wife got really fucked up, but she ended up being okay too. People might remember we raised a bunch of money for them. It was a big thing. And what I always remembered about that was Jared not really having an opinion or being upset, at least visibly and outwardly, being a very staid Christian man as he is, about the person. And I remember saying to him, like, I want this person to eat fucking shit. Like I was so fixated about like what is going to happen to this person. Like, and it was probably maybe a little much, but it's like, how can someone do this to you? And they just get away with it. Or like they go to a hospital or something. It's like, what a fucking joke. Don't drink and drive.
No.
Don't do any substance and drive. And if you do, I'm going to be really upset with you.
Yeah. My grandfather was killed drunk driving.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
By a drunk driver, or
no,
was
he was
so that's
this was
interesting.
before I was born. This was when
I
my
didn't know
dad
that.
was
Is
a
that your
kid.
dad's dad?
Yep.
How old was he when that happened?
7. Yeah. Rough.
So this was in the 70s or 80s. This was in the 80s.
My dad was born in 70. It would have been either very late 70 or early 80s.
Wow. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Think about all the lives extinguished for no reason. I'm not a teetotaler. Obviously. I just think you have to be responsible. And there are so few excuses now.
Oh, yeah.
Get an Uber. Next.
Shook Nasty. Congrats on Saint Slayer. I got mine on Switch so I can play in bed.
Nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy that.
Saladin. Has Herman Hulse infiltrated LSM and canceled the 100 chicken nugget stream? Also, congrats on the Saint Slayer release. I did see that today would have been a great day to do it.
It would have been
the release and 420. But we've gone over this. Colin has to respect his wife on this one.
Yeah, but you could do it. This is the thing. It's like, I'm going to respect Micah's wishes, but that doesn't mean you have to respect Micah's wishes. What is she going to do to you?
I need someone else to do it with me. Brad said he's out.
Yeah, Brad, I don't believe in him for this. He's too he's too health conscious right now.
Mm-hmm.
What about...
Now, Chris might be down.
Chris, I don't know. He's so small,
You do
where's it all gonna go?
Yeah.
Where's it all gonna go? That's too much food for Chris. I don't want to kill Chris. He's too important to the show.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's less important that we can throw into the mix? Let's see. Lockmort. He'll also probably have the European, like Belgian nuggets that probably have like no additives in them, and it'll probably be very healthy. It's all white meat. This is on you. You can do it.
Pork Poncho says he'd do it.
Who?
Pork Poncho. He said, I'll do it.
Well, there's your partner if he wants to do it. He's someone. He's not, like we were saying, we don't want to do anything people are too important to the brand. Chris, Brad. Pork Poncho, he's a fringe player right now.
Sure.
Right?
We play Marathon. Every time we fail to Xville, you have to eat a dozen nuggets.
A 20-piece.
20-piece. Okay. That's a really funny idea.
I love 20. The 20-piece chicken nugget is so good. I have a very vivid memory of going to a McDonald's and my friend Tim's dad's, RIP to his dad because he passed away in the last few years. He had this beautiful Mercedes, like convertible, and he would bring it out when it was nice. And he brought us to thought it was so fun and cool. We were in elementary school, and he brought us to like the McDonald's drive-through in it, and we thought it was so fun. But then he ended up ordering both of us like a 20-piece nugget to share. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. That's not enough. Thank you for writing in.
Drew the Gamer. Hope you're both doing well, relaxed, and I love you guys. Thank you. Picked up the DNA freeze pipe for 420. It's exactly what I wanted. Keep gaming.
Freeze pipes are really...
Drew.
Freeze pipes are so good, dude. I haven't used my freeze pipe because I broke it. Like my bowl or whatever. They're very sensitive. It's glassware. But I had a really nice bong from them too. That was really great. Freeze Pipe did sponsor the show a while ago. They don't sponsor the show anymore, but I highly recommend them. Like for if you're a smoker, it really, the idea is like it has this like, I don't know, this liquid or something in it. You put it in the freezer. So, people put ice cubes in a bong or whatever, which is like an old school thing. You would have like these little juts to hold the ice cubes. And this, you just put in, the liquid freezes and the whole thing becomes really cold. And then you pull out of it, whether you're smoking a bong, a bubble, or a bowl, whatever. They even have a little thing for a joint, I think. And so you just have to remember to put it in the freezer and then take it out and whatever. And it's really cool. And it really does cool things down. So it's really cool, literally, but also figuratively.
Joshua Barron says, Colin, what's your perfect team combination for Final Fantasy Tactics? Grinding it out while I watch the stream. Take that any way you want.
Really depends where you are in the game and how many. Usually you have like 5 or 6 with you. I like to have and you can obviously combine things. So like a black mage summoner is really good. A white mage chemist These are two things you should always have in your party, in my opinion. And then you kind of jump around to the melee things, like a dragoon is kind of nice to have, a ninja is kind of nice to have. But really, it depends on where you are and what you have unlocked, and really fusing the jobs together, which is what Final Fantasy Tactics is all about, which is good stuff as well. God, I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I still have not played the re-release. It's on my. It's just I bought it when it came out, and it's just been on my little cross media bar the entire time. I've never even deleted it, but I don't know when I'm going to get to it. You know, there's just too many. There's just way too many games.
Too many games.
Where are the games?
That was even more exaggerated.
All I fucking do is play these stupid video games, and I can't even remotely keep up. It's the same thing with Pragmata. Pragmata. Where I bought it, I pre-ordered it right before it came out, so I downloaded it, and then I was like, well, I also had Mouse. Mouse came out the day before, and I was so into Mouse, I'm like, well, I'll get the Pragmata later. But then it's like afterwards. So I'm working on Mouse, and then hopefully the Pragmata, but then Saros. Dude, Saros is, I think a week from tomorrow is early access.
Goodness.
So it's like, what's a man to do? That's what I could do on next Monday, is I could stream Tower of Sisyphus.
Oh.
Which is awesome. I have all the trophies in Returnal, both the main campaign and the expansion, but that might be a good way, like we can call it preparing for Saros, a Colin Moriarty story.
Can you do that co-op? The tower?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I've never played co-op.
That would be a unique way to play it for you.
Yeah, it would. I've never played co-op in Returnal at all. So
something to think about.
Pragmata looks so good, though, dude.
I'm playing, and it's good.
And the beauty of both of these games, as I understand, is they're both kind of short. So I love that. 15 hours or whatever, that's perfect. That's perfect. But if you like boomer shooters, dude, and I love a boomer shooter. Everyone knows that. I love a boomer shooter. You got to play Mouse. It's truly great. And I can't believe I saw IGN give it a 6.
There's a super chat about that. Let me see if I can find it.
A 6. Okay. A 6. Yeah, sure.
I can't find it. We'll talk more about that then when we find it. Ill Will says happy 15th anniversary of the PSN going down.
Is that today? Was it 420? 2011? That's a legendary moment in PlayStation history. It's never been that bad ever since.
Rock bottom.
You couldn't even sync your trophies for like a month. You were just earning them in the blindly. I actually remember that at the time being like, I don't really want to do this because what if my PlayStation dies? And then later my PlayStation did die. My fat PS3 that I had, locked inside of it was Sopranos, the DVD for Sopranos, like season 3, disc 2 or whatever. And then we sent it into Sony in like the little coffin, and they gave me a new machine back, but the disc was just gone.
Oh.
Sons of bitches. It is what it is, though.
Dragon Glee, I don't know. Saros trophies posted on Insider. Any thoughts?
I haven't seen it. I don't want to look yet.
Me neither.
I don't care about spoilers. I just want to see them in context. Like, I hate. It used to be fun to like look at Insider Gamer or whatever kind of similar site. Like, here are the trophies, but like, they're often not in context. Like, they don't. Often it's like, I just want to see it on PSN profiles or Exophase where you can see it, like really see what it looks like. So I'll wait.
Hookus P. I was nervous I'd struggle with the game as I play with the PlayStation accessibility controller. The joystick works well with this game so far, and I'm enjoying the challenge. Congrats on the launch.
Interesting. So the joystick, yeah, you can use the left stick for locomotion. I don't recommend it, but obviously if that's obviously something you're either used to or have to do by nature of a disability or whatever, that's awesome. And that's why the option is there. I played the game with the D-pad. I played the game almost entirely on this PS4 controller right here.
The Goku controller.
Right. This is the random one I got when I lived in California, and I ordered it on Amazon, and then I got it in the mail, and it was the Saudi Arabian version, like the Saudi Arabian packaging.
Oh.
With like Arabic on it and stuff. So yeah, I'm so glad that works out for you, and thank you for your congratulations. We really appreciate it. We're excited.
Next one is from Papsy. Big congrats on the launch. Playing it tonight.
Awesome. Yeah,
People getting baked playing this game.
it's perfect. You know what else comes out today too is that Jay and Silent Bob Brawler that I think looks pretty good. I want to check it out. I don't know if it will be any good. I'm surprised. Like when I found out that they were releasing the same day, I was kind of like, that kind of sucks. But no one seems to really be talking about that game, and I don't know why, because I think it looks pretty cool. And is Jay and Silent Bob just not cool anymore? Because that, for my generation, that's obviously, for the millennials and the Gen X people, definitely a very relevant franchise for us.
Not everything is a competition, but Colin, I will tell you, this Jay and Silent Bob game has 8 reviews. You're beating them. In terms of reviews. Though this is Atari and Digital Eclipse, so Jason.
Step it up a little bit. Maybe. Aren't you wearing an Atari hat?
I am.
Yeah.
This is my my Jaguar.
Yeah, your Jaguar hat. Jaguar.
Polly D says got it on PS5 and Steam. Good luck with the launch.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Dude, we're doing great. We'll share numbers, I'm sure, at some point, but a lot of it is latent, so we don't have a full picture of it, though. But we are selling, like, I think...
2 mil.
Yeah, that's right.
2 million copies. Listen to 24 hours.
It's too bad it can't be like, you know when a politician writes a book and then they use like a super PAC to like buy like thousands of copies of the book? And that, I don't know if you ever look at the New York Times, like the top books sold. They often put like these logos next to them, like these cross logos, if they suspect that people have been using like these shady tricks to boost the book. But what was I saying here? Let me go into the we are selling, our top platform is Steam right now. Can you believe that?
Nerds.
Ben, this is all Ben Smith. We hired his PR agency to do, they've done PR for us in the past to do this. And so he was with us from the very beginning. And I said this on the show, is he was like, success on Steam translates. Success on console doesn't. So if you have a successful game and try to translate that on console, you try to translate that to PC, it doesn't really work. If you have a game that translates, that's big on Steam to translate to console, that does work more often than not. And you want to be big on Steam. And we really went out of our way to prioritize that as basically the priority build, which is unheard of. Remember when we did Twin Breaker was a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita timed exclusive. So we've come a long way, and also the sale split on Steam is better for us until you reach a certain threshold, which I doubt we'll ever reach. So it's also the most ideal place to sell a game. So it's really fun to see that, in the numbers.
I'm checking the Steam player counts. I don't think they're up yet.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that.
Maybe it'll be on flopathon.net or
it probably will be on flopathon. Yeah, we'll probably have like 10 or 20 people probably playing it at a time or something like that.
Yeah.
On Steam, that would probably beat our all-time high. Yeah.
Sure. Why not? Mr. KYT says Barry's in Canada, right? So did you technically invest in a Canadian company? I didn't even know Canada has access to computers yet.
Yeah, well, they're still behind. Barry's internet connection is from like 1997. But yeah, they are Canadian. Lilymo is based out of Ontario, and yeah, I do own a piece of a Canadian company. That's true.
I found the player charts, and it is peaking right now. 26.
26.
It's during the day. It's fucking noon or not noon, but whatever.
Well, it's a single player 8-bit game. What is the number supposed to be?
Yeah.
That's awesome that 26 people are playing it right now. It's kind of surreal in a way. Just because we've been working on this thing, only a few of us have ever played it. You've had access to it for a long time. Mm-hmm. But you really just don't know until you put the thing in the wild and see what happens.
Something I was thinking about player counts. This is somewhat unrelated, but a lot of people obsessed with the marathon player counts, and I do think it's important. A lot of people really care about that peak player count. But I'm like, what about how many players it has throughout an entire day?
Right, like maintenance of it. Yeah, I just think, it is interesting. What I'm most fascinated about with the Steam numbers is that Valve could just shut that off.
Yeah.
Eliminate that in their API. They don't, which I think is interesting and cool, but it's also weaponized against people in a way that I don't really like. I don't care about us. I mean, we're a small indie studio. I just think it doesn't show a full. I won't use any specific examples, but like just knowing things behind the scenes, it's like you see it games numbers on Steam sometimes, and then you learn about how many people are playing it on PlayStation or Switch or something, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think that that's the case, and I think Alinea says that that's not the case with Marathon. That like the preponderance of the player base, not surprisingly, is on PC. But I just think everything needs to be taken into context of like what your expectations are, what kind of game you're playing, and like so putting Saint Slayer in Steam charts is kind of weird. But if that's what you want to like focus on, I'm not saying you, but if that's what
No,
person wants to
yeah.
focus on, that's fine. But it's like I don't know if that really means anything to me. You like knowing how much the game sold on Steam as of 4 or 5 hours ago, that number is a small, tiny, infinitesimal fraction of the amount of people that bought it at that time.
Sure.
So
Argus Forever says, congrats on the new game. Just bought it. Colin, what would it mean for you, Lilymo, and LSM if it sells 50K, 100K, or do I dare say 250K copies?
I mean, 50K would make it all of those would be our highest selling game ever. 50K would just be past our biggest selling game. But again, copies sold, and this is something I was saying to Barry behind the scenes because we were like, oh, what if it sold this many copies and this many copies? And I'm like, that's not really what's important. I mean, it's important, but remember, like when we get the numbers like to 30, 40 and beyond, like we did with the Herbroxy games, it's like some of those games, Herbroxy 1 was never $10. It was $7. And it's been discounted. You could buy it for like $1 or $2. Same thing with Herbroxy 2. It was $10, but like you could buy it for $5 or $4. So it's like what's really important and numbers we wouldn't share is like gross revenue. But we've done a few things here. First of all, my old friend Tom Happ, my old buddy who made Axiom Verge, wonderful Metroidvania. He worked with a guy that used to work in Nintendo named Dan Edelman. And Dan did the PR for Axiom Verge and for Axiom Verge 2 as well. And they had this idea back in the day that people might recall that they came out and were like, we're not discounting the game for 1 year. Because people would wait for sales. And that's good. You should wait for sales. If you're cost constrained or whatever, but by making it clear that like we're not doing that, you're waiting for no reason. And I think that worked for him. And so we did a similar thing, though we don't have the voice, the soapbox that they do, and that we don't have the reach to just make it as clear as possible. Like the game is $10. We think that is incredibly affordable, and we're not putting it on sale. So, and we'll consider putting it on sale beginning next spring. But I don't think even then, like I've said it to Barry, I'm like, there's really no reason to ever discount a $10 game.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, maybe at some sale you make it $5 or $7, but so I just say that because obviously gross revenue is much more important. And that's another thing that Chris always says about Marathon. Like that's the unseen part of it. There's no doubt Marathon isn't doing very well, but there is the component of it beyond gross revenue at the point of sale because people are buying microtransactions. And if you play a game like Helldivers, which did extraordinarily well, also sold a shit ton of microtransactions. So even when you convert cost per unit by unit sold at a baseline cost, you're still not getting the full picture, if that makes any sense.
We got Reese Elliott in the chat commenting on this as well. He says, Marathon is holding on with 200K monthly active users as per our estimates.
Reese, right before if we ever announce sales figures, which I'm sure we will at some point for Saint Slayer, I'm going to know the number, and then I'm going to come to you and I'm going to be like, it's going to be like the IRS when they ask you to pay your taxes. I'm going to come to you and be like, how many copies did it sell, Reese? And then we'll see. How do you feel about that? I'm a Reese Elliott believer, though.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of Reese Elliott skeptics. It's fair enough. But coming from a political science background as I do, in school with history and all the rest, I know there's a science behind data analysis. It's not always right. But people are always like, oh, the polls are, and I'm like, well, there's a method to the madness. There is a method. Whether or not you believe it's true or not is another thing entirely. Back to Argus's question, though.
Sure.
Any of those, if we sold 250,000 copies, which I don't think we're going to, but if we did, I mean, that would be like incredibly life-changing for Barry. It's
the last game you'll ever see out of him.
He's like me, where he just wants to live a normal middle-class life. And so like, yeah, you give him enough money and he's probably just going to disappear. So you might not want it to sell that well. 50,000 copies would make us completely secure. And I think we can get to that number. I think it will take time, obviously, for us to get to that number. I think that would be a very respectable number, especially if we can do that all at $10. And that would create enough revenue for us to we want to do more more games, and we'll make more games one way or the other. I mean, Barry has a passion for it, I have a passion for it. I don't even take any money from the company anyway. So we're able to kind of live pretty lean. But yeah, these would be life-changing sums for us. And that would be awesome. I believe Saint Slayer is our most complete, best, most widely alluring game we've made. And I understand Tribreaker's softer sales. Again, I've lamented many times. I understand far less Super Perils of Baking soft sales, because I think that game is like so. I think that game is so fun, and it's too bad. But Tribreaker's a much more esoteric game, and I understand why it's like, okay, this one I think will be most widely accessible to people and sensible for them to play. You're not playing a Brick Breaker or some sort of old arcade shooter that might be a little bit more niche. These kinds of games are the anti-niche as far as that era is concerned. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What do you think? How do you think we'll do?
I think you will do better than Hyproxia.
1.
I think this will be your best seller.
Yeah, Hyproxia 1 and Hyproxia 2 are 2 top selling games in order.
I think this will beat it.
If that's true, then we're in great shape. And that will bring us to around 50,000. So.
Hell yeah. Okay. Chris Hendricks says, Colin, give us 5 major tips on how to be successful at Saint Slayer. Also, first thing Push Square highlighted in their review was the great writing. Kudos.
Thank you. God, it is great, isn't it? All right, so 5 tips. Number 1 is there are 4 endings. 2 of them are almost impossible to get if you don't try. The other 2 you can kind of stumble into. One you would always usually get, which is the vanilla ending. I recommend your first playthrough on normal for the vanilla ending. People can play on easy. Easy eliminates knockback, lowers the volume of enemies on the screen, and so on. But it's so easy, in my opinion, especially without knockback, that it doesn't translate to the rest of the game. You know, when you play like a game on normal and then, like I did this with Chronos when I played it on normal and then I played a New Game Plus on hard. And like a normal playthrough, you want to get as close to the baseline as possible so you learn, right? And you know how to play it. As opposed to, one of the things I always disagree with, like in trophy guides, for instance, is like play through the game first on easy and do all the collectibles. It's like, well, why? Because you're not really playing the game as expected, and so you're not really learning very much. You might learn about the layout and all the rest. I think the game should be played on normal for that first ending, and then you play the game through the second time on hard, and you go for the companions ending, which you'll be able to unlock at that point. So that's one tip, is just the way to kind of sequentially go through the endings. The second thing is this is a big one, is on stage 20, this isn't a spoiler about the story or whatever, but like you'll encounter a character. There are 2 types of currency in the game. There are coins, golden, I think we called it, and orbs. Lavinia, the in-game shopkeeper, only takes these orbs, which are more rare. The coins can be used at a couple of merchants, but otherwise they're just kind of in your inventory. But at the end of the stage, you can give this merchant character coins in return for orbs, and orbs carry over from playthrough to playthrough. And you can start stacking them and use the orbs at Lavinia's shops to make the game easier for you. So you can buy like hints for hidden treasures, or you can buy like heart pieces to increase your health, or rosary beads to increase your mana, and so on. So you can make it easy. And it's one of those games, not unlike Hyproxia, where if you're running your head into a wall, you are actually getting somewhere in order to get this currency to spend. So that's another tip I have. Definitely seek out the heart containers and the rosary beads in the wild. Every stage that is not a boss stage has either one hidden in it, one or the other. Some of them are somewhat obvious to find. Others are super well hidden. But that will increase. So on normal difficulty, you start with 8 health. You can get your health up to 16. And you start with 3 rosary beads or mana, and you can get up to 7. to use your spear, your distant spear. Another thing is to use the special attacks. If you're really into like these old school games like I am, you might even really mentally not be prepared to use some of these attacks because you won't think they're there. But as you get through the game, like you'll unlock a slide, you'll unlock a power attack. You can down thrust with Pogo, which is like DuckTales, which is or Shovel Knight, which is available immediately in the game. So use your whole array of weapons as well. And if I might recommend something, if you get your hands on the spear bomb, which is one of the sub weapons, you want to hold on to that bad boy. That's like this game's holy water, where it's like it is the best weapon, and you can obliterate shit with it if you know what you're doing. Well, that's 4, 5. One of the coolest things I think in the game, and this is attached to trophies, is we have NPCs like innocent people in the game. And you can do whatever you want to them. You can kill them or ignore them or talk to them. If you save 10 of them throughout this game, you'll get a trophy. And one of the low-key hardest trophies in the game that you have to be very deliberate about is getting through a playthrough without hurting anyone. So just enemies. So you could kill anyone you encounter. You can kill like the random shopkeepers. The only NPC that's not vulnerable to your attacks is Lavinia. And that's because she's part of the story. Otherwise, you can fuck anyone up you want. But if you fuck someone up, if you're trying to do that run, and this is classic Barry, punitive Barry programming, and I love it. If you're going through like, so you start from the beginning, stage 1, and you're on a deathless run for like no NPC loss or whatever, and then you accidentally kill one, you'll see in the corner saving immediately.
Brutal.
So you can't even spoof it or anything like that, which is funny. So yeah, I hope those tips work for you.
There you go. Awesome Tatum says, any chance for a Saint Slayer t-shirt? I'll sport it.
Yeah, people have been asking for Saint Slayer merch, and that's something I got to sit and think about. I want to talk to the team as well about what they're doing. I mean, the thing that's on my mind right now is the physical version. That's something we definitely want to do. I think we will do it. I just don't want to make any guarantees. As I've explained to the audience in the past, is like we're waiting for 90 days from today to submit an ESRB rating for the physical version because we get a substantial discount if we do that. Otherwise, we have to apply for a new full rate ESRB rating for the physical version, which for a run of only a couple of thousand is eating quite a bit into the margin. So we should execute that. So April, May, June. So like in July, we'll start spooling that up with East Asia Soft. And it is my hope that we'll be able to sell it in time for the holidays. So I think we should be able to do all that, but we'll see what happens.
Cyanide 1980 says, has Lilimo ever been approached for one of their games? They spelled their THERE to be on a subscription service.
Stupid. No, I can't.
If so, what are the general logistics regarding money?
We've never have. We did pitch Super Perils of Baking for Game Pass and we're denied. I think there are multiple stages to it. For Game Pass, for instance, I believe like you kind of put your game out there and then like you go through a preliminary thing and then they like look at it and whatever. And I'm not sure how far we got into that. And I don't really know. I do know the logistics about the money because I know people at teams that have done these deals. I just am not at liberty to talk about how it works. It is funny still how that is like one of the very well protected secrets. And the reality is that the deals are all different. So I think that's another reason why. Like, I think some of it is like lump sum money. I think some of it is lump sum plus downloads. I think there's like maybe even some that are just like how popular the game is and how much people play it, like stickiness. So a lot of that is kind of obscure knowledge for most. But if I say too much, then it starts pointing towards the people I might be talking to.
Death Metal in Your Face says, would you rather lose all of your memories or never be able to make new ones?
That's so interesting. I think I would rather never be able to make a new one. Right? That has to be the obvious answer. You're going to just start as a blank slate, like you're Drew Barrymore in 51st Dates. You don't know fucking anything about anyone. That's a horrible Black Mirror-esque sitch you find you're putting us in there, I think.
Yeah, because you don't like. I want to be able to make new memories with my kid, maybe kids someday. But am I going to be like if you don't have any memory? What? Wait, lose all your memories? Yeah, what kind of person am I going to be?
Yeah, you'll be a husk.
So I guess you have to
you'll be
pick.
fully malleable. Now, here's the interesting thing. The better selection might be to only make new ones, in that if you could plan this out, and this is kind of what Adam Sandler does in 50 First Dates, is like you could engineer a solution to that,
Sure.
where it's like, all right, everyone sits you down like it's almost like an intervention. And they're like, here's who you are. Here's video and pictures, like all this evidence. Here's all the documentation. Like, learn about yourself. These things happen to you. You were great at X. You excelled at this. You hated this. This is your best friend. This is your wife. This is like, what, you know what I mean? As opposed to like not being able to make new memories is kind of a static existence. You might be able to die. Guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die. Thank you, Death Metal in your face. This next one's really good. Daddy T says, Colin, if this game does well, will we get a sequel? Tommy Slayer, Sniper of Sacrilege, maybe Grove Street as a setting? Ooh. I wonder how much money Daddy T has paid over the weeks.
He's like paying
to make fun of you.
He's paying for the new hardscaping I'm doing in the backyard. Him alone.
Him alone. Thank you, Daddy T. Walk-in. Colin, have your thoughts ever changed on your Mass Effect 3 ending opinion after all these years? I personally found it lame AF.
My opinion lame or the ending lame? No, my opinion hasn't changed on it. I think the only thing that I wish I delivered it better. It's like one of my most notorious moments in my career. But no, I think people were radically. People were so out of touch with authorial intent, and like the idea of being upset about something makes sense, but I think people really, how do I put this? I think I just understood that Mass Effect 3 had to end in concrete and finite ways. And I don't know why people thought that they were going to be able to engineer this Xbox 360 and PS3 game to give you like 25 different endings that really take into account everything you've done, as opposed to ignoring that the choices going between the games, it's a great example of like the journey is the adventure is the fun.
Yeah.
The ending is kind of like the bummer that it's over. I always described it as being shaped like a diamond, right? Mass Effect 1 starts out thin and gets wide. Mass Effect 2 receives and keeps the wideness, right? And is able to play in that space. Mass Effect 3 has to bring the diamond back to a tip at the other end. It can't be like this prism going out forever, making a triangle. That's not possible. Now, in the world of AI, that might be possible.
Now, here's a point I agree with from Ac1 Max. He says they could have done more with those endings.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But I guess I just didn't understand why people thought that there was going to be like this more heavy dynamic at the end. Like, how does that work? You have to understand something that's really important about this too, is that, and we didn't really know this at the time, but it makes a lot of sense now that we do, is that, what was it? 8% of people played Renegade, right? So just think about that. They have all this telemetry about what people are doing and how people are playing and like the choices that they're making. They're not going to dump all of these choices into random, or all these assets into random one-off things that a small infinitesimal fraction of your audience is going to get. When they started the project, they might have had, and probably did have, a much more expansive idea of what they would do, but they realized no one was exploring it. It's kind of fascinating when you think about it from that perspective. Like, you gave players maximal choice, and yet 90% of them played one way. That's something, don't you think?
Yeah, there are choices, though, that are made in the game that aren't tied to that system.
Yes, that's true. And I do know that they implied it would be more.
Yeah.
But I just think it was the way people reacted I thought was really disappointing. Because I reviewed Mass Effect 3 at IGN, so I had beaten it quite a bit before it even came out. And you know how, like, when you play a game early, I'm especially in tune to this now, you're not always right, but you have an idea. Not only of like its quality, but what people are going to have a problem with, or what people are going to say about it, or what they're going to love, and like what the conversations are going to be about. And there was no indication, not only from me, but from anyone at IGN that played it, that anyone was going to give a shit about the endings. Like, that wasn't even on our minds when we were talking about it internally and trying to figure out how we're going to cover it. So like I just didn't see it that way, and they must have not seen it that way, and none of my people, friends in media saw it that way either. Maybe that's an example of a disconnect, but it's funny because that was in 2012. That's like a kind of early social media phenomenon as well.
Sure.
It would have been so much different and so much worse for them today.
Yeah.
The video I did about it would have been so much worse for me today as well.
Yeah. Nova Phoenix says Chris and Colin Resident Evil 6 stream next week. Bit of a random poll.
I want to play Resident Evil 6 at some point. As I've said, that's the only Resident Evil I never played. Am I going to do it on stream with Chris next week? No, I don't think that that's going to be a thing. I'm not. That's a game that's got to exist in a space between where like there's just too many things. After Saros, I don't know what like there are a lot of games that are coming out this year in quotes, but like have no dates. So we're going to be floating, I think, into that late spring, early summer period where there's going to be nothing new coming out, and then that's where you can kind of go back for a game like Resident Evil 6. So perhaps then.
Anton K says, I'm loving the game. Tops Abraxia for my favorite Lilimo title. Great job. Did anyone try to jump or moonwalk up the first set of stairs like I did?
Very funny. The stairs act a little bit differently than they do in Castlevania in that I don't think you can jump on them. You have to start from the base. There's all sorts of fun little things. What's the stage that I'm curious about? The larder. That stage. What stage is that? 13 maybe? Something like that. Anyway, it's a stage where like the exit is right above you. And you have to go all the way left down and then like get up and then go all the way right. But there's ways to get up there. And like I was thinking about the speed, if there was ever a speedrun community around this game, which I doubt there will be, that would be like the key to cutting your time down, is like figuring that out rapidly. There's all sorts of little secrets, and I think Josh was saying that he had broken that stage like 10 different ways. So I'm really excited to see like how, in a good way, we're not breaking where the game doesn't work. It's like, oh, you got to the higher platform without having to do all the rigmarole.
Yeah.
Be very interested to see how people do that. It's always fun to watch people play like that. I was lamenting in our Discord just last night. I'm like, it's too bad we don't have like real telemetry tools. We don't. So we can't really tell what people are doing.
John Lisa says, on Moore's Law is Dead, you stated that your fans were not excited for PlayStation 6. I am excited, sir. Also just purchased Saint Slayer.
Thank you for purchasing it. Yeah, so that was interesting, Dustin. I doubt you listened to that episode of Broken Silicon, but
I heard parts of it.
But that was, I think, a fascinating topic to bring up. Is like, I think you would agree. It seems like our audience, by and large, doesn't care about PlayStation 6 and doesn't necessarily even want it. I think once it makes itself known, that dynamic obviously changes in some material way. But I was saying, having covered PlayStation professionally for all of these years, I'm like, there is no excitement for another machine at all. Because this generation, as we've lamented and as we've discussed, not lamented because I don't really necessarily even agree, but as we've discussed, is widely seen as being incomplete, this generation. And but he was saying on his end, and you saw it from the listener inquiries, which I think is so fascinating, because we have a very software-centric ecosystem level audience. He has a hardware agnostic level audience. And they are very excited about the new PlayStation.
Yeah.
So that makes some level of sense to me. But I don't think I'm wrong in saying that like there is no. I've said before, by this point in the PS3 era, people wanted to throw that thing out of the fucking window.
Yeah.
Like off of a moving train. Desperate for a new machine. It's not the case here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's overall the case for our audience, for sure. There are outliers, like John here. Let's see. He says, I am excited. I would say I'm excited. I'm interested. I don't know if I'm like
I'm curious.
But, yeah.
It's going to be great for business. I'm going to buy one. I'll buy both of them because there's going to be two of them. The console and the handheld. I'm not saying any of that. And that's why I said, like, once it's real, everything changes. Because then you have an idea of what it is, what it can do, what might be on it, when it's going to come out, how much it's going to cost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But right now, as a hypothetical, you give a shit less about that thing.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest. And what I'm thinking about now, Dustin, and we've said this on the show, is by this, if they really are going to stick to fall 27, which I believe they will at this point, based on everything we know, by this point next year, we'll have a lot of information about it, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder when it's got to be next year. Like they can't say anything this year. You can't get in the way of Grand Theft Auto, I think specifically, and what that can do for your console. Once you're through the holiday season, I think all bets are off.
Yeah. With a $4.20 donation, we have Boots. Says,
Ooh.
thank you for your donation.
Thank you for your donation.
Chet's News says, saw Drowning Pool at Fretmont this weekend. Born in 97. I got hooked in 2008 via WWE games. Bands like 3 Days Grace are still my absolute favorite.
It's Fremont, just to save you
Fremont?
from people making fun of you.
I don't even remember what I said.
Fremont, I think.
Fremont? I don't know.
Drowning Pool. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. They would probably be fun to play. Didn't the singer die in Drowning Pool?
I have no idea.
Like years ago? 3 Days Grace. I like 3 Days Grace. I saw them live a couple of times more than 20 years ago at this point. They were great. That
Divorced
album with
Dadcore.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, that was when that guy, I think, got clean, which is good. But like there was so much torture and angst in his music when he was like all fucked up that like I liked those records. I Hate Everything About You. Home. Some really gnarly kind of post nu metal riffs in a lot of those songs too.
The chat is saying very mean things. Not to you. I'm not going to bring him up on screen, but it did make me laugh. All right. Guardian says thoughts on the BAFTA controversy. What controversy?
I'll look it up. BAFTA controversy. The 2026 BAFTA Film Awards were overshadowed by controversy when a guest with Tourette syndrome, producer John Davidson, yelled a racial slur at actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, don't put anyone in that position, as fucked up as that is to be. So like, you don't want to put your black actors in that case in front of a person with Tourette's that is going to say, by virtue of the disability, the most offensive things possible. But don't put that guy in that position either. Then again, you don't want him to not work and not have a normal life. I mean, it's tough.
Someone in the chat said no, the game one. The game BAFTAs did just happen this weekend, but I haven't heard of any controversy about it.
BAFTA controversy.
They excluded a trailer because of sensitive content. Huh?
In April 2026, BAFTA faced controversy for pulling the trailer for The Quiet Things, an indie game dealing with child abuse, from a showcase over triggering themes. Developer Claire Sharkey felt silenced as her autobiographical game was removed. BAFTA deemed the decision a compliance matter, prioritizing guest safety. Yeah, that's not cool. I mean, if you promised to play something and vetted it, and that's a big deal for that person. That could be everything to getting that game out there for that person. Of course, that person's going to be crestfallen and disappointed. It's not to say you don't have the right to market what you want and have, but like you greenlit it, presumably, to be there.
Like green lighting a panel at a convention.
It's also, yeah, right. Which happened to me, of course. It's interesting because that seems like something that would happen in like 2017. Not 20. You know how you always see like people are saying like woke's gonna come back and all these things, and I'm like, no, it's not. This is like one of those things, like those oversensitive readings of situations that no one would have been offended by. It's art. It's the BAFTAs. Like you're in a room of artists, of professional performers, and all of the people that would understand it the best. And this seems like something that would happen 10 years ago, not today. So that's where my mind is on that.
Nerfed Ninja says release the director's cut of the story for Saint Slayer.
Maybe I will one day. Maybe the director's cut will really be in the sequel. I already know what I have an idea of where I want it to all go, but got to vet it with everyone else.
Human Missile Crisis. Just purchased on PS5, going to purchase on Steam too, so I can play on my Steam Deck. Also sending this super chat for the exact amount the game costs here in Canada. Best of luck with the release.
Thank you.
Canadian dollars, $15.38.
God, the Canadian dollar is just so out of whack at this point. It sucks. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Death Shoot. Here it was. I couldn't find it earlier. The Mouse PI IGN review is a bit absurd. Yay or nay? Let me bring this up.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if it's absurd. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. As I understand, though, the guy like focuses a great deal on like the noir aspect of the game, which is reasonable enough, I guess. But maybe misses the forest for the trees, and while you're playing a video game, as opposed to watching a movie that's almost 100 years old and something that's trying to kind of solicit that feeling. Six, as I said earlier, seems absurd for the game based on what I've played, but it is what it is.
I'm looking at his verdict at the end. Not just the number, but like his summary. I feel like 6 is a little low, but I could totally see this being a 7 out of 10 for people.
Yeah, I mean, like I think what I'm learning more. Well, I've known this for a long time, but you just kind of are reminded of it over and over again. Is people care way too much about this shit. And I'm not saying it's not like one of those cop outs like the movie's made for kids. Like when people criticize Star, I'm not trying to like just cop out. What I'm saying is like, who gives a shit what IGN says? No offense, like who cares? It's one man's opinion, one website's endorsed statement of a game's quality or lack thereof. It's just a number. The only people it really matters for are the people making the game and publishing the game, because it really, a lot of it is contingent on, a lot of success is contingent on these decisions. But for the player, like it doesn't matter. That's why I'm so confused about. I've always, even when I was a critic, I was always confused. I'm like, I want you to read, I want you to care and what I have to say. I want you to read it, but at the same time, like you're way too invested, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like way too invested in it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just a guy's opinion. Can agree, not agree. I do.
Yeah.
Something that you and I disagree on, Colin, and I agree with this reviewer, is by the end of the game, I felt like the cheese stuff was too much.
It is a lot,
but
I think it settles into a cadence where it's like, okay, it's an over the top, like I said, it's euphemistic, right? It's like the way they talk about their world and experience their world, like with smells and the cheese references and all that. I think it's kind of cute. But you have to settle into that world, and it is a little much. And Micah is making fun of it as I'm playing it. So it's not like you're the only person in the world that feels that way about it. But I find it cute. I just criticism is, people have a very hard time. I say this all the time. People have a hard time seeing anything beyond themselves. They just do. I don't know why. Like, to understand one person is reviewing a game, that's his opinion, it really is meaningless. And I started at IGN. I love IGN. I have a career because of IGN. It was an awesome experience. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like it's ever been more irrelevant, and people are yet more upset about it than ever. There's some dissonance there. Like, IGN was a 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, IGN was a fucking super powerful force. And people were half as upset about the reviews then as they are now. So that's something I can't help but notice.
Yeah. Slayer Giant says, right as I clicked, it scrolled. Right as I clicked. Okay, here it is. Streamed it till chapter 13 last night. I got screwed by the ducktail jump/slide a few times. Got some words for the playtesters. Good game though.
Thank you. It's so hard, dude. Pardon the pun. It's so hard to know what to do with, a design decision. Is this too difficult? As I said about Tribreaker, we actually did end up nerfing parts of the game because we were wrong on the way people were going to respond to certain things. I really think Saints, as having played Saint Slayer, I've played Saint Slayer so much more than I played the other games before release at this point. I think it's well executed, balanced, and as hard as it needs to be. And if people think these difficulties are hard, man, we have hard mode. It's so easy, normal, hard, but we have classic mode, which is very hard. And Godspeed to you.
Prime8 plays says, are you excited for Jordan Tyson and Avril Reese / David Bailey on the Jets? Is there pisser support for Saint Slayer? Congrats, team.
No, there's no PSSR support for Saint Slayer. He's talking about the draft for Arvell Reese, David Bailey on the Jets. Jordan Tyson, I don't know. I'm very interested in what they're going to do with that second pick. My ideal, trade out, trade down. Even we have 3 first round picks next year. I was even saying I would be down with trading that pick for a first round pick next year. That would give us 4 or 1/8 of all first round picks next year, and we can trade no matter what position we're in next year. We can trade to wherever we want to go to get whatever player we want, including the quarterback we want. So that would be ideal. I don't think that's going to happen. It was Arvell Reese for a long time, rumors, and then it kind of swung to David Bailey. I think Arvell Reese is considered the more prime athlete. I think David Bailey is considered the better positional player. I'll be happy with either of those guys because they'll make the defense better. I think I'd prefer Arvell Reese because he's supposed to have like a crazy ceiling. But he's only 20 years old. So we'll see what happens. Very exciting times. We'll be tuning in on Thursday to see that.
BC, with a bunch of numbers, says, Happy 20th anniversary for Okami. Thank you for releasing Saint Slayer on this momentous day. You're welcome for my donation. Shout out, Josh. But it's spelled Juice.
It's Okami's 20th anniversary. Wow, that's so interesting. I haven't played Okami since. Do you remember when it came to Wii, but then it came to PS3?
The IGN cover.
Right. That's exactly right. It's so fucking weird, man. What I would love to know the story behind, like, you didn't have your own. Someone went on IGN and downloaded the Okami art and made a box for a Capcom game with it. This isn't like some accident that they made on like Carnival Games or something. It's just such a weird. I'll never forget that as long as they live. Okami's great, and I keep forgetting there's a new Okami coming.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Thank you for supporting Saint Slayer.
Bench Frog says, "Is it weird that I'm enjoying Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster more than Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined?"
Yeah, a little weird. I mean, they're actually not that different. I mean, when you compare Final Fantasy 1 to Dragon Quest games, there is some sort of analog there. Because they're both extremely traditional. I think Final Fantasy 1 is fine, maybe a little underrated. The character class kind of stuff is really fun. I've said before that one of the great things, like early game facts things that people used to do, is to try to do like the all white wizard run or things like that. So Final Fantasy 1 is a very like a game with a lot of permutations, and you can really fuck with it. Dragon Quest 7 is a much deeper game. So I mean, I would say most people would think Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined was a better game, but I don't think it's weird. To each their own.
Trent Miller writes in, "Yo, congrats on the release. I've been playing Castlevania 1 in preparation. How much will my skills translate?"
Very much, I think. I think they'll very much translate. If you're fresh off of Castlevania 1 and that specific stiffness, that specific knockback style, deliberate attacking, you have to commit. It's the same thing in Saint Slayer. There's no moving in the air. You have to like commit to the jump, commit to the attack. You can't cancel. So it's a very deliberate game, and I think if you've played Castlevania 1 specifically, or any of those 3 on NES, I think you'll be well prepared for Saint Slayer.
Argus Forever says, "Colin, I got engaged last month. Now wedding planning. How was your experience? Total cost? Use a planner? What's a smart max spend versus liquid cash IYO, in your opinion?"
I think so I don't know how much my wedding probably cost, like 20,000 or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't, I mean, that's a lot of money, but it wasn't that much. I mean, weddings are way more expensive than that a lot of times. I think you have to be very deliberate about what you want to do here. Weddings are fun. They're important. At the same time, that's money that you can deploy in other ways. So really, it's about your own personal financial situation and the tolerance you have to spend money that you could otherwise deploy in more fruitful and useful ways. But it's also, but I hate when people are also dismissive about spending money on weddings. It's supposed to be a big day celebrating a union between two people. It's a party. It's supposed to be like the ultimate party for your celebration. You want to make sure people have a good time. So you got to balance all those things out, you know? I think when there are destination weddings, or I've been to weddings where clearly the people spent 6 figures on it. or things like that. It's like, no. But like having a nice venue, good food, good drinks, that comes at some cost. If you're going to invite people and have people go out of your way, you want to make sure that you're treating them well. And so you got to balance all those things out within the context of your own life. So for some people, spending nothing on the wedding is good. For some people, going to the justice of the peace or whatever they call it and getting married at a courthouse or whatever. Some people want to invite every person they've ever met, have a massive 500-person venue, and spend an enormous amount of money. I mean, to each their own. But we paid for our own wedding, and I'm glad. I would have never asked my parents to do it. I will say that they did. My parents did cover, and this was they volunteered to do this because we had to plan this and we're going to pay for it ourselves too. But the rehearsal dinner, my dad ended up paying for that.
Oh.
So, which was nice.
Very nice. Glucose says, did you guys see the story about Shu being fired by Jim Ryan? Thoughts? Congrats on the release.
I did see that. He was much more explicit about it this time.
Yeah,
I think
he's easing up.
Yeah, he is.
The Japanese politeness is showing its cracks, I think.
Well, I think I'll save this for Sacred for the most part, but I think it's kind of safe from multiple perspectives for him to do that now. Jim Ryan's not there anymore. He has no power, and he's never coming back. It's also clear that all the decisions he made, or a lot of the decisions he made outside of hardware, were bad. So you're safe both literally, legally, from the documents he probably signed when he left, and you're safe from the retribution of a dude who failed. And even kind of talking shit about it now, which he doesn't about Herman. I think Shu likes Herman. And maybe he's kind of dealing with all of the bad decisions that Jim Ryan put upon him. I think that that's a cop out in its own way. Herman Hulst is supposed to be just like Shu was, the final arbiter of taste for first and second party. But we'll get more into it in Sacred Symbols. I want to study it more, and I want to see more about what he said over time. Because when Shu's been on Sacred Symbols Plus, he's spoken about this a little bit too. So it's not like it's like out of left field. I just think he's being much more. I said it from the beginning, and I was right. And remember, we confirmed this, and a lot of people were like, I'm like, he was demoted. You know, like it wasn't. You don't run first party output and then run indies.
Yeah,
it's a joke. I know he has a passion for it. He's great at it. Shuhei has a great eye. It's not 100%. He talks about Demon Souls all the time and other things, but he has a great eye. He understands games at a level that most people will never understand games. But you don't take that knowledge base and put it on $200 million games and then put it on, why don't you go find some indies that we don't even really care about?
Yeah.
That's a man writing out his contract and trying to do the right thing or whatever. And it's too bad they made the wrong decision. And I've said before, and I mean it, I don't think it's a bad idea to maybe go back to him. I don't know if he wants to do that. He's older now. He is kind of semi-retired. He's rich. I mean, he's the first person to have said, he doesn't use those terminology, but he doesn't have to work. He made a lot of money. So I don't know if he has if that's alluring to him to go travel the world again and be away all the time or whatever, but he could fix things. Yeah. I bet you he would.
Shu was responsible for arguably the most successful and beloved first-party lineup in the PS4 generation.
Yeah.
Rewarded by being demoted. Partially fired.
Yeah,
Good job,
and
Sony.
It's clear now that that was because they wanted to, from my perspective, that they wanted to spend money on multiplayer games. And he talks about, and we talked about this, about how he explicitly walked away from a lot of multiplayer games because he felt like others did it better. That was like why Killzone and Resistance both went away. It's like, why are we competing with Call of Duty? They do Call of Duty. We can just get their game. We can spend our money on our own shit. And that's, I think, probably where his mind was at. So that when they were like, let's invest in this, let's spin this up and spin this up, he probably didn't like, that's not a good use of our resources. In fact, we closed our only multiplayer studio in Zipper. So come back, Shu. We need you.
From the Citadel, Commander Shepard N7 says this is the best stream on the Citadel. No, he says, Colin, do you still consider yourself an atheist? Or are you more open to spirituality as you get older?
Yeah, I haven't called myself an atheist in years at this point. Just because I think the way I look at it philosophically is to be atheist shows as much certitude as as believing in God.
As much faith, one might argue.
Right. It's a different sort of faith. It's a faith in nothing, but it's a belief nonetheless. And when you identify that, and from my opinion, when you identify that very basic contradiction, the only right answer is agnosticism. And really, I think I'm too spiritual for agnosticism in a very agnostic way, ironically spiritual, where I kind of am deism is really more my thing, which is the idea of there being like an impassionate or undefinable God, basically. Doesn't know what you're doing, doesn't give a shit, doesn't know about Earth, doesn't care about Earth, doesn't care about humans. Like, that's kind of where I think things are at, where I'm like, there's such mysticism in the universe. There's so much we don't understand. One of the answers could be that there's a spirituality. One of the answers could be that there's something more than the scientific fabric. I'm open to that. But I don't believe in an active, omniscient God. No, I don't. I don't believe that there's a God watching us right now, in my opinion. It's not a disrespect to religious people. I just don't believe, I find that unbelievable. That's too geocentric for me, if that makes sense. Like, it's all about Earth. This little ball in an ever-expanding universe, and whatever's happening on it, that's all that matters. And then specifically the people on it. It's like, I don't know about that. But I'd like to think that was true. And culturally, I'm Catholic. And I think that comes out in the game.
Thank you, Commander Shepard. Stuart says Colin has been mispronouncing chicanery for years.
Have I? Chicanery. Let's see. Oh, chicanery. Yeah, chicanery is better. This is like when people say niche and niche and stuff. I'm not accepting that. Next.
Hollow Point. Mario Kart LSM stream when? Oh no, Mario Kart LSM stream? Real Feelings will come out.
I'm not good at Mario Kart.
I feel like the Real Feelings come out at Mario Party.
I also just feel like the Real Feelings come out.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I feel like when I said Brad cares about LSM more than anyone else, I feel like that really hit you.
Really? Interesting.
Maybe it's time to step up your game, be more like Brad.
Okay. I'll start by not editing this week. Death Shoot 1. Marathon is the #1 searched game on Steam DB. Why? Because everyone is retarded.
Because no one has a life. Because there's people online that would rather look at how a game is performing religiously than play video games. These are the same Venn diagram becoming a circle, the same people that say there are no games to play. Their favorite game is Steam DB. My favorite game? Mega Man 3.
Oh. I like Marathon. Waiting for that Sony check, though, to come in. Haven't got it yet. I was told that if I glazed Marathon, I would be getting a check from Sony.
Patience.
Come on. I gotta pay off this house. I'm assuming this name is Charizard? Like Charizard, but Charizard? Have you guys ever considered a meetup in Atlanta? No. We have never considered a meetup in Atlanta.
I did do a meetup in Atlanta once.
Oh, at
with Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
MomoCon, which was an interesting experience. Atlanta's a cool town. I was just talking about it yesterday with Micah, actually, because there's a restaurant there called Vortex that I really, really like. And I was like, oh, you would love this place. It's like Southern. It's grotesque. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like burgers on donuts kind of thing. You know, gravy on everything. It's so fucking good. Really, really wonderful place. I like Atlanta. Now, I was talking about it specifically because Micah had never been there. And I'm like, when Micah moved here, I was talking about this recently. She was really taken aback in a good way. So taken aback, probably not the right word, but noticed how like, oh, there are other black people here. I'm not the only black person anymore. Or like my family aren't the only black people. You know, we have black neighbors and all that and all the rest. And I was like, oh, dude, you know, so Atlanta came up. I'm like, Atlanta's really black. And I'm like, I wonder how you would feel there. And I was telling her how I went with the Kind of Funny guys to a Waffle House and it was packed and we were the only white people there.
You were the minority.
Yeah. It's one of those rare things. Like, it's what I always said I experienced in San Francisco when I lived in the Sunset, which is mega Chinese, where it's like, I'm like sometimes the only white person on the street kind of thing.
It was a
Very
very
noticeable.
Chinese time of your life.
It was a very Chinese time in my life. It was.
Sure.
It was.
Okay. Let's see. Who's next? Zanfair. Do you think the lack of first-party criticism partially comes from Sony having less clear roadmaps and fewer consistent showcases compared to the PS4 era, at least until recently? Congrats on Saint Slayer game.
Thank you. I don't know. I think a lot of it. I think people are obviously there's a lot of discontent about first party output. It's clear what's happened. It's going to take time to. It was a mistake for them to do it. Bad decision making, and it's going to take time for them to turn the ship around. I don't think it's so much about showcases. I just think people are overrating that. Remember, like the PS5 has sold basically aligned with PS4, and there have been a total different marketing treatment for the two consoles. So I just don't see the connection. That shit's for us. But the games that drive a lot of these ecosystems are not games that would ever appear in those anyway, in my opinion.
Primate Plays. Once again, celebrating 420 with Saint Slayer, a J, a Godmother sub from Bay Cities.
Oh, wow.
With my wife working the grill. It's Monday.
Wait a minute. Bay Cities. So Bay Cities is a deli in Santa Monica. It's. I think you're talking about the same place. I want to make sure because they had. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the place. I've spent thousands of dollars at that deli. Literally, it was like 2 blocks from where I lived in Santa Monica. I'd eat there all the time. They were closed on Mondays when I used to go there, though. So what's going on here? Because you know how sometimes you get in your mind, because I did this to myself multiple times, where it's like, oh, like you go through your day and I'm like, tonight I'm ordering Bay Cities. Right? Or like, that's what I'm looking forward to getting, like a Hero Bay Cities or chicken cutlet sub or something like that. And then you go and you're like, fuck, it's Monday. It's like, I used to do that with sometimes with Chick-fil-A when I used to eat Chick-fil-A on Sundays, where it's like, damn. So very interesting about that. Something has changed because I'm sure COVID fucked all that shit up anyway. But dude, if you ever go to Santa Monica, Bay Cities, did I bring you there?
No.
I don't know if we went there. It's a great deli, and dude, it is so crowded. You have to order online if you want to have any. Oh, you'll wait for an hour. You'll like wait for literally an hour. The secret is to order online, and they have like a totally separate place you go. But love. Oh wait, he says in the chat. Oh fuck, it's closed. I was gonna make the drive.
Oh,
sucks. I've saved you, dude. See, I still have a little bit of Santa Monica knowledge in my mind.
Aren't you glad that's what your brain chooses to remember?
Yeah, Bay City, dude. That place was. I'm not kidding. I spent thousands of dollars there. Like no joke, not a single joke about that. One of the great places to eat in Santa Monica. Thank you for. I haven't thought about that. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Bench Frog says next marathon stream, please have Colin spectate.
Yeah, if you do it on an off, I should be able to. I couldn't make. The last couple of weeks have been very busy.
Yeah,
I should be back to like a normal availability now.
Let's see this next name, Necrophagiac. Bought and played Saint Slayer as soon as it released. Tough at first, but after beating it once, I'm finding the groove. Library music is rocking.
Thanks. Yeah, there's a secret code. I think it's laser VGM or something to listen to the in-game music, like an audio option. If you want to check all of that out as well, because it really is wonderful. Thank you for buying it, and I'm glad that you were able to beat it. So, see, it's not that hard. People are able to beat it. Necrophage. What is that? That's from something. Is that from Hail Mary?
I have no idea.
A lot of people have been like, you got to go see Project. When I said I went and saw Mario, like, you got to see Project Hail Mary. I'm like, I read the book, buddy. You want me to spoil it for you?
No.
Better be careful.
My grandpa, a few weeks ago, I think it was at Easter, he's like, did you see the Hail Mary Project? And I was like, no, not yet. Close.
That's like something I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, that astrophage. That's that. And that's not a spoiler because that's what Project Hail Mary is all about. It's this thing called the astrophage, which you'll see.
Yeah.
Necrophage is the disease that Mass Effect people have. Rex's race. Is that what that is? Necrophage?
Necrophiliac. Similar.
All right.
Jacob Griffin. Congrats on Saint Slayer. Bought it last night and we'll play it after Pragmata.
No, you'll play it now, actually.
Also, to add to the GTA talk on the latest Sacred Symbols episode, I think numbers are soft on PC because a lot of players play on RP servers.
Oh yeah, that could be, though. That kind of shit that I see every once in a while is so fascinating to me. Like the people that like drive around and then there's cops and the cops pull the people over and like have interactions with them and shit. It's kind of, it's not my thing. It's got Second Life vibes to it, but it's kind of cool.
Kind of neat.
Yeah, like I staying out of trouble and doing your thing. You know, it's all good.
Jared Morales says, padding the stats. I bought Saint Slayer on every platform. Congrats on the launch. I'm excited to hear the sales numbers in the coming weeks.
Me too. I think we're waiting. Like, so some of the numbers, I think like Steam numbers are live in real time. Some of the numbers are reported over time. It's so much better than it used to be. Remember we used to tell you that like back in the day, like it was hard for studios to even know exactly how many copies they sold. In fact, it's still a joke where it's like no one really knows exactly how many copies of a game is sold because there's like all sorts of weirdness to it. But back on like PlayStation, you have to like go through all the different territories and like garner all the numbers. It was a mess. It was probably not like that for like real big publishers and developers, but now it's much easier. But yeah, so there's like reporting periods. So now we have to wait to see.
Future Millionaire says currently playing the game on Dustin difficulty. Ouch. And enjoying it so far. I went for a Switch version to have it on the go.
Cool. It should play well on the Switch. No native Switch 2 version, but it'll play on your Switch 2, obviously. Still no Switch 2 dev kit. I assume that we will port it over. I think the more disappointing thing, and I've said this to people, is that like, if we were allowed to put games on Vita and even PS3 still, we would have done it with this. This game would have been fucking sick on Vita. And frankly, so would have Tribreaker. It's too bad, man. I had this fantasy. I was thinking about it. I was like, what if Sony, they're going to obviously shut the Vita store down at some point, so they'll never do this. But like, what if they were just like, we're going to open Vita, like we're going to let you know ahead of time so you can prepare. But like, we're going to have a month X, where you'll be able to actually submit new Vita games, like just in that, and like we'll just have a one last gasp Vita release, and then like a year later we'll just shut the store down. It'd be so sick. You know, they would never do something cool like that though.
Sony's like there's like a meme tweet format that's like, what happened to all the Vita games? They're like, we don't know how to anymore.
Yeah, like right. We
can't. We don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah, we would it would be a tough port at this point too, because like I don't think the new Game Maker even works with Vita.
Yeah. Mike Anderson saying today being the 15th anniversary of the PSN outage. Any memories from you boys trying to log on? Where were you when you found out, etc.?
I don't remember where I was. I mean, I worked at San Francisco. Lived in San Francisco, worked at IGN, and I was the editor of IGN PlayStation. So obviously this was a major story. The biggest memory everyone has is Greg and I getting drunk when it came back, and doing that. That's probably like one of the most famous podcasts I ever did. It's like one people still bring up to this day. So that's a fun memory. But what I remember the most is like it was just so ripe for the picking in that media era. Like what you see something like that and you're like, this is really unfortunate. It sucks for our ecosystem. Can't play games, kills SOCOM 4, stymies us from being able to download packages and do all sorts of things. But like on the other hand, as a journalist and a writer, it's like there's a lot to say here. The other thing I remember, a big memory I have, is the bow. Do you remember when the Japanese executives the Sony executives all stood on stage, like gave a little press conference, and then stood up and all bowed for like a long time because they knew it was like totally fucked. Like I think it was explained at the time as like they basically like yanked the cord out of the wall, kind of thing. Like it was so bad, you know. It's like, but I think they learned a very valuable lesson. And imagine if they were still lax and kind of, which they I guess aren't in this era anymore. And then it happened in a much more important time with much more at stake.
Yeah.
Where like the machines truly are online. That was still an era where like it didn't really matter, you know, unless you were playing certain online games. That wasn't what PS3 was really about anyway. So they kind of serendipitously dodged a bullet potential future bullet by having it happen earlier. Um, I someone wrote, like there's something going on with like people getting their usernames stolen on PSN now. Have you heard about this? It's like it feeds into that guy that wrote into us and lost his account.
I saw
Apparently
his
this is like
message.
apparently people are like kind of like dealing with this interesting situation. I can't verify any of it,
Yeah.
Like I don't know if this person's just lying to me or if these things are happening, but it's like, damn. So they're always dealing with some unfortunate situation, but it's not been like that since then.
Yeah. Okay. Caffeinated DC says bought the game today, Colin, as a game 2D style game dev. What are your thoughts on RPG Maker? Also, does power save mode on Saint Slayer make any difference?
I haven't seen RPG Maker in many years. Like I mess with RPG Maker on the PS1. You would use, I think, I've never even migrated anything off of it. You use like what was it, a Gex drive or whatever they call it? Dex drive, I think it was called Dex. And like you could put the games online. I think now you can properly export games, and I think that there are games that have been made on newer RPG Makers that have been sold commercially. I think that's great. It's better than nothing, as long as you have a commercial option. That was always the thing with not only with because they had other Maker games, like they did Fighter Maker at some point and others. The thing I was always confused about with them was like, why? Like this is a lot of work. It's how I felt about Dreams. It's like this is a lot. You're asking a lot when really you have to have the game to enjoy the game. It's a meta level, or you have to export it. So if you can have ways to solve for that, I think that would be pretty cool. But I think RPG Maker is good. Like we use Game Maker, and Game Maker is it's a deep programming level engine, but there's a lot to it that is easy for people to use. It's good to use things that are easy to use to understand things. And then you can obviously get into more robust and dynamic solutions if you get better or you need more. We make 2D 8-bit and 16-bit 2D games. We don't need anything more than Game Maker. So we don't use all these other, we don't need to deal with like engines and middleware and all that kind of stuff.
Spanish Deco said, would you rather be dropped into a Brazilian favela? Dustin or Chris can be with you, or the Warriors experience, but you get all of LSM with you.
I'd much rather be in the Warriors, because if you're dropping me into Brazil, I don't speak Portuguese. Chris speaks like broken Spanish. He's not going to be any use to us. The Warriors takes place in New York City. I'm familiar with New York City. I'm from outside, I'm from Long Island. I mean, it's a little bit closer to home. The Warriors is, the Brazilian favela can be pretty dangerous, but the Warriors is very dangerous, right? I mean, that's peak late 70s, early 80s New York City, like when it was like it was Mad Max, basically. But we have all of us. I think we would be better off in that situation. That's where Warriors is where one of Dagan and my favorite terms come from for a woman, which is strange wool.
Strange wool. I've never seen that movie, but I know about the bottles.
And the bottles?
Warriors. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's a great movie, dude. It's so stylish and campy. That's what's fun about it. It's very campy.
Sleighbag with a $20 super chat says,
thank you.
Congratulations. Been here since Kind of Funny. Really happy for you, Colin.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you for that, Sleighbag. Trent Miller says, very early Stanley Cup predictions. The Penguins will win it all.
The Penguins, yeah. I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest.
MJ Castro says, Colin, Greg was on Game Scoop with Damon this past week, and they talked about an IGN band Pear tried to start years ago. Where were you and Damon, where you and Damon were the only drummers at IGN? Any insight? Thanks.
Yeah, I don't remember. Damon was a drummer. Damon's a multi-instrumentalist. Yeah, what I remember is that I did play drums in like an IGN band. Tal Blevins, who was like one of the VPs, had a house in San Francisco, so he had space in a garage. He had like an electric drum kit, and he would invite people over to play with him all the time. I think there were even videos of it, us playing. Like we played Wings and some other random shit.
Like Paul McCartney and Wings?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That was fun, but I don't. And they had a band like it was a name like that they would call it, like this thing that they would do. I can't remember what it was, but that was fun. And I do remember that. And like Steve Butts would play, and a couple of the guys from engineering and art would play. Like people from different parts of the company you wouldn't necessarily interact with on a day to day basis. So that's what I remember. I see people are saying Damon. Oh, Laser Josh, Damon would be sick on the show. I agree. I've emailed Damon twice over the last year, and he never hasn't emailed me back. I feel like I've always been on good terms with Damon, so I don't think it's personal. I wonder if maybe it's going to spam or he's just not answering and then forgetting. And I know how busy things are, but I'm also conscious of like I don't want to. What if he is ignoring me? I'm gonna look desperate to email him again. So like I've kind of just let that idea go, to be honest.
IGN band name, the 7.9s.
The 7.9s. That'd be too much water would be the awesome name.
Too much water. Okay, Troy Branch says purchased 232 of the 300 LP. Wow, 232. I didn't know it was selling that briskly. It's selling
That's awesome.
Quickly. I'll buy the game later tonight. Down for the physical. 5 did what?
I think this is a song. De Poids du Theme. Get a listen. I understand if it's too much synth for anyone. I don't know what you're saying. Go buy the game and play it.
I think you were buying the
this.
vinyl. It sounds like if they're at 232 of 300, if you want the first pressing, you better buy it fast because there's only going to be 300. So do it. Downside Wave says, Colin, take a blinker off that pen. Oh, 420, brother.
420, brother. I've been just hitting a little bit here and there.
In the
I'm
old,
staying easy. I got things to do today, so I don't want to get too crazy.
Hitting the Benjamin.
I'm gonna go for a nice. I probably will smoke a joint after this, and then go for I'm gonna go for a 6-mile walk. I think it's pretty nice out. It was so oppressively hot. What is the temperature now? 60 degrees. That's perfect.
Nice. What is
perfect.
it here?
It was almost 90. The temperatures are vacillating so wildly.
Yeah. KB says, any update on the Housemarque interview?
No update. I have not heard back about it.
Dang it.
I don't know what's going on there because like I'm sure like they're busy and they have first of all, as I can tell, they're not talking to really anyone. Maybe they're going to start rolling out more stuff soon. I assume they will. But I'm very friendly with Mikhail Havari, who is the marketing guy there. I've known him for many, many years, and we're friends. I mean, we speak behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I said to Sony, like I presented them things I wanted to see. I'm like, I guarantee you, if you say that I want to talk to them, that they will do it. I have a long relationship with them. I said the same thing about Wolverine as well, because Marcus Smith is directing it, and Marcus Smith is a friend of mine. He's one of my closest, oldest friends in the dev side of the industry. So I'm like, I guarantee you, again, if you bring it up to them, they will talk to me about these games. So we just have to wait and see what happens. They might be doing something afterwards. And in fact, they did ask me when we were going back and forth a little bit. They were like, so do you want to talk to them before or after? And I'm like, actually, I think it would probably be fun to talk to them after. So they might just have punted and they're waiting. They have their hands full now. They have to get the game out. And then once it's out, maybe we'll get them. So I'd like to do that because I have a lot. I love Housemarque, and I have a lot to talk to them about.
Toy Department says excited for the release. Just bought it on PSN. Hoping to carve out some time to check it out this week. Congrats, guys, and good luck. How many copies have to sell before we get an action figure made?
God, I don't even know. This is my friend Kenny. Thank you for writing in. I wonder, like, how much does that even cost to fabricate, like, to really do a nice one? Not some shitty. I'm not saying it has to be like the most boutique thing you've ever seen in your life, but like I guess you could 3D print things now. You could certainly get things designed in 3D without having to like sculpt them. Like GI Joes were sculpted by hand with like clay, like, which is crazy when you think about it. It's like that's definitely not happening anymore. Or maybe not for a lot of toys. So I wonder how much that would cost, because I would be having like a Rudiger and Lavinia and Pacer figures would be fucking sick. We'll get Father Pacer in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
They love the religious themes over at Nintendo.
They love it.
So they would love the corrupt Catholic priest. They would love that.
Any Revs says Black Flag remake reveal is Thursday. Very excited.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like that thing has just been hanging out there in the wind forever. But I'm glad people are finally gonna get to. Are you gonna play that? I never played that original one. I don't give a shit about
I
it.
played
But
the original. I gotta be honest, when I was reading this, it brought back a memory from my first gaming podcast that I said Black Flag a little too quickly, fumbled my words a little bit,
oh boy,
had to cut that from the show. Wasn't intentional,
oh boy.
but everyone knows what I accidentally said.
Say it.
Say it. Joe Gons says, on my third run on Xbox, maybe a little sacrilege? Trying to make this game my 200K achievement score game,
Nice.
currently at 199,500.
Cool. I like the trophy system more, but there is something very attractive about the achievement system of just being a number. And you're just raising the number.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about going after the platinum or like getting a completion. It's about raising that number. I know a lot of people care about completion rating as well, but you don't get like they always talked about the diamond achievement that they wanted, that has never come out, where you'd like get something. So with that, it's like, it's cool that you can do that. It's also, I love that there's like early on in the Xbox 360, there were all the odd numbers and it fucked people's numbers up. And then then there are games that you have to go do to find solutions to like get your number back to a round number, which I think is just so funny. Love that.
Chris Hendricks says Saint Slayer is on Metacritic Games main page for new releases.
Oh,
can't get no higher because we all the way up.
Oh, we have enough. We have a 78 on Metacritic right now, so we're green. It's that push square, man. They gave us a 7. Thanks for that. 3 8s and a 7 brings us to 78.
There it is, right beside Pragmata. Yins play that Pragmata or the Mass PI for hire.
Yeah, there we are, 78. I'll take it. I think Abraxia 2 might be our highest. Let me see. Oh no, it's way lower, 73. So this might be our highest score.
Should we blacklist Push Square? Oh, this was
Sammy.
Sammy.
I'm not feeling it.
This was Sammy.
Yeah, I love Sammy. I mean, I love Push Square. I think it's. Listen, this is exactly the kind of the shoes on the other foot, right? What would I gave a fucking 100 games a 7, and what would I always say? It's good.
Good. It's good.
Now, is Saint Slayer good? Of course, it's good. Is it great? Yes. Did it deserve like an 8.5? Maybe. It's okay. I'll remember that.
This next super chat is from that fat white guy. Says Colin, has anybody told you that the MC from Pragmata looks kind of like you? By the way, congrats on the launch of Saint Slayer. Can't wait to pick it up.
Thank you. I have heard that, and people have sent screens. Now, I don't really see it. Any white male with a shaved head and like a beard. It's like we always used to say, like, everyone would be like, this looks like Chris. And I'm like, that's just a guy with glasses.
Yeah.
It's not like Chris at all.
Now, if they did use you for reference, remember last Summer Game Fest, I made the Sacred Symbols thumbnail as you as the robot. Or not the robot, the astronaut guy. And that was before we knew what his face looked like. So, Colin, there could be a potential lawsuit here. They saw that and they're like, yeah, that's it. Make it look kind of like him, but not too much that they can't sue us. Capcom, you will be hearing from Rick Hogue, our lawyer.
I know. Be dispatching
He's
Rick
not
Hogue
actually our lawyer.
We'll be dispatching Rick Hogue to Kyoto immediately.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're Osaka.
Oh, Osaka.
Moscow says, Colin, did you see the Saint Slayer mention in IGN's April game releases video a few weeks back?
I didn't, but they have been putting our trailers up. We appreciate it. We have a friend over there, I guess, because I don't really know many people over there. Like, the people I know are all like very senior. I don't know anyone in the trenches anymore. Like, Damon is just celebrated his 20th anniversary there, but like people I know, like Pear, Sam, Ryan, these are all like executives now. So it's cool to know we have some help down in the trenches, because I know that people that have worked there in the past would have like done anything to keep our game off of that site.
Yeah. Clark W. Griswold Jr. says, Colin, what's your favorite track on the Saint Slayer soundtrack? If this has been asked previously, feel free to take me out back.
That's tough because I like the songs in context. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, I like Otto's Overture when you meet the boss the Chef Boss Otto. There's a song that plays like everything just kind of is perfect with these various locales that are some of these encounters are pretty brief, so you kind of got to let it ride. That's why you got to use the code to the laser VGM code to listen to the full one. But I really like that song just in the way it fits. The let me see, what is this, we put this in the trailer actually. Yeah, Eye of the Storm is the banger. Like, that song goes off. Josh did a wonderful job. I heard he got a better internet connection as well. Thank God.
Good.
It was like literally like I think Artemis 2 had better connection to the Earth.
Sure.
Than I did to Josh during that interview.
Next one is just a thank you for your donation from Oinky Donk. I'm kind of afraid to read it all because something about it feels off.
Yeah. We can't say that.
I don't know. I'm just playing it safe. Playing it safe. Suave Spy Mojo says Herman Goring and Bungie are alike in a sense that they've both been accused.
Herman Goring. No.
Goring?
Herman Goering.
Goring?
The Nazi.
G-O-E-R-I-N-G?
Yeah, Goering.
Goring? Sorry, I'm not as familiar with Nazis as Colin Moriarty is, I guess. Sorry.
Few people are.
They've both been accused of stealing artwork. Also, I like the way you guys pronounce my name. Suave Spy Mojo.
Yeah, what are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to say?
I have no idea. Well,
both accused of stealing artwork. That's a funny joke, I guess. But thank you for writing in.
Trent Miller, will we get a Bloodborne remake or the next Elden Ring stream first?
We get a Bloodborne or the next Elden Ring stream? I don't know. That's in the air.
Oh, that reminds me, by the way, started on my Sacred League. So
when are we gonna? So you're in the Jeopardy module.
I'm in the Jeopardy module. Don't go in there, Colin, and cheat.
I won't.
I know you won't. Just now, I will say, this will be. I'm stepping it up. We've got very unique things in here. Please be excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited.
Argus Forever, again, writing in, says, your wedding guest count. Ours is leaning over 100.
I think it was like 70 or something like that. I don't even think I know 100 people. Like, could I even name 100 people? I don't know. I think we invited like 85 or something, and then maybe we got 70. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. Micah wouldn't remember. If she's still in the chat, she'll tell you.
Boots with a super chat. Boots, shout out to Boots. He's always in my streams as well. Super chatting. He says, Dustin, how are the Harry Potter full cast recordings? I've yet to start book 4. They are excellent. I highly recommend them. I am on the Half-Blood Prince now, moving a little bit slowly. Holly is almost done with it already. And I'm enjoying it a lot. Highly recommend. It's been great to go back to these books because I don't remember them. And so it's been very good. I highly recommend it on Audible.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. I've never listened to an audiobook, or at least I should say, since I was a kid. I've never listened to an audiobook because you would go get like the educational tapes at the library or whatever. Yeah. But
I don't do too many of them, but this one is just particularly unique because of all the Foley work, and they have, different actors in it. A lot of famous actors too. Hugh Laurie as Dumbledore in it, and Kit Harington, Jon Snow himself in it. Lots of people. Robert Butler says, that view of God isn't too geocentric. God is like a traveling salesman with secret families. There's other Earth-like planets God just isn't telling you.
There definitely are other Earth-like planets. That's for sure. I like that theory. He keeps us all separated so we don't know about each other.
We have another super chat from Oinky Donk. I forgot to type my message on the last super chat, LOL. Would you consider doing a piece of merch only for Saint Slayer Platinum Achievers?
No, that's too complicated.
You'd have to go and verify everybody.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't be doing that. Come on.
Handicapped says, Raider fan here. Colin, you ready for Thursday?
I am very excited. We were talking about that earlier in the show. I'm Really looking forward to the draft. Very, very excited.
Slain. We already went over this, but Colin, did Capcom get permission to use your likeness for Hugh in Pragmata? The voice is wrong, but the face is pretty spot on, in my opinion.
It says for me, message retracted for him, which is interesting.
Oh.
Probably because someone else asked it, and then he asked it, and then he realized it was redundant or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if my app works that way, so.
No, I'm going to let it go with Capcom. I like Capcom too much to go after them. Rick, we're going to send Rick to Tokyo instead, just to see the sights.
Yep. This is not real life, writes in. Colin, please check out the Abbey project by Urban Wolf Dev. It is a hybrid 2D VR Castlevania style game that is very ambitious and looks great.
Abbey project. This is not even coming up for me. Abbey project VR. This is literally not coming up. I'll check out the Abbey project when I can find it on Google.
Yeah.
Thank you for writing.
Liam says, loving Saint Slayer, you guys are super talented. What's stopping you from making a Shovel Knight equivalent? Fill the void. Yacht Club are leaving.
I'll leave the Shovel Knight to them. I mean, there's a little Shovel Knight in our game because we have the downward thrust, the pogo.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I don't want to make a game like Shovel Knight. I want to make a Shovel Knight is awesome. I mean, I fucking love Shovel Knight. It's an excellent game. It's also different than what we're trying to do.
Blade Levitch says, I'm nicknaming Saint Slayer Spear of Son of a Bitch. Because, oh boy, I'm bad at this, but compelled to continue. Stage 17 so far.
You're very far in the game. I mean, if you're at 17, you might as well keep going. Good luck to you.
KB, Fair Games' second alpha happened this past weekend per Insider Gaming. Need the guy from the first test to chime in and compare notes from the first test.
Yeah, I saw that report. We talked about, weeks ago that Fair Games was still being tested. So I don't know why people are treating this as news, but we don't ever get cited for anything. So it's fine. I even told you the name of the project, like the new project name during the show, but fuck me, right?
Let's see. Oinky. It's Onky, but I like saying Oinky. Oinky donk. Says, say my name, cowards.
I just feel like I can't do it.
Can't do it, man.
Can't do it, man.
Thank you. Suave Spy Mojo. Previous joke was lame, but I'll buy Saint Slayer.
He gave us 1,000 Imperial credits.
1,000?
Unbelievable.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Mojo. The Surge says, hey, Colin, I'm moving to Danville, Virginia soon. I won't be near your area, but if given the chance, I may do a little stalking. We do a little stalking.
We do a little stalking. Yeah, come on through. Come
on,
hang out.
Come on down. Teamwork Sucks says, Colin, since Artemis 2, I've been watching For All Mankind. Thanks for talking about it. No, there's zero punctuation.
Yeah, no punctuation.
Thanks for talking about it. Has been my favorite Apple TV show since Severance.
Oh, so pleased to hear it. You're very welcome. Enjoy.
Commander Shepard, once again, if the government confirmed the existence of aliens tomorrow, how would the world change?
I don't know.
We're fucked.
Part of me feels like no one's going to care.
Yeah.
Like, no one cares about all the weird shit that we already know about. So, but I think if there was actual proof, it would change. It would radically change everything. That could be like an undoing event, like a Black Swan thing. You know, very serious. I don't think we're going to find out, though.
Finally, the last super chat. Liam just got to stage 8 in Saint Slayer. Oh, there's another one. Realized it was on my wife's PSN. Nice. The vibe in Saint Slayer is second to none.
Oh, so glad you think so. Thank you for playing. Earning trophies for your wife is can't do that. Unapproved.
Popo says, can't wait to play your new game.
Thank you. Enjoy.
And finally, Handicapped says,
we'll call it here.
Oh, last one. No more super chats. Please. Says, please tell my girlfriend Slurpees and Ices are different.
It's so funny, man, because this just came up a few days ago with Micah and I, where I was talking about the Slurpee IP. How like that's like something 7-Eleven can like rely on. People know what that is. It's a I've never had one, but it's a certain thing. Ices are like, they're also a certain thing. I don't
I
like that kind of shit though.
I think they
Personally.
are materially the same thing. Now, if you're a 90s kid, maybe you remember the humble Hush Puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Hush Puppy is definitely a different thing.
Mm.
But Slurpees and Ices are both carbonated pop or soda or whatever in the slushy machine. It's the same thing. Maybe different flavors. They're called something different, but they're the same.
Yeah, it's It's like the name is what's proprietary, not
Yeah.
the technologies behind the slushy or the Slurpee.
I'm
Or
very
the
aware.
Icy.
I'm a huge Icy fan.
Well, Dustin, we've gone for 3 hours. I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been enough.
it's been fun
Enough
to
of
talk
that.
about the game, just reflect on things, hang out a little bit, but it has been enough. Appreciate everyone out there supporting Saint Slayer. We're so excited to have it out in the wild, and remember, you can get it for $10 or your local equivalent on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. Please, if you like the game, please leave us kind reviews on the various platforms. That's very helpful for us to find new audiences, and hopefully this game will find its way. It seems the early indications are it's doing very well, so very pleased about that. I want to just congratulate also, and well, we'll do a Sacred Symbols Plus in the coming weeks, probably in the next month or so, about making the game with everyone. But I just wanted so we'll get into like the nitty gritty there. But I wanted to just say that I think the team did such a great job, and I'm so proud of everyone for the work they did. Barry, the Joshes, Lachlan, and everyone else that played the game and tested the game and gave us feedback. This was a heavy lift for us. I said on Sacred Symbols Plus, I think this game was also made under the most tension internally, not in a bad way, but in a good way. And I think out of that tension, that pressure, comes finer gems, and it's been a learning experience for us. So, thank you, appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoy the game. Keep the feedback coming, and we'll keep patching it and working on it, and I'll start marinating on this, what I want the sequel to be story wise. And I know the boys are already talking, and we were talking internally about what we kind of want it to be already. So our minds are already moving forward in short order. But thank you again, appreciate you. And Dustin, thank you for spending the day with me. I appreciate that
No
as well.
problem. No problem at all.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. It's time
Bye,
to go.
everybody.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Be well, and we'll talk soon.